The opinions expressed on this show do not necessarily reflect those of the Barbers Chat Network, our great partners at H&B Media, or any of our media peers. We're just five idiots who love sports and love to talk shit. If you're offended easily, then this show isn't for you. And for those of you who aren't offended easily, sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Remember, it's only entertainment.
So cool.
Triple double hat trick, I know the code too. Ice trade, go for trade, yeah we cold too. Getting paper on these player haters, old news. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold. My agent just said we made 100 flat. Make it back and make it stack. This like no Steven Jack. Put my rings up in the camera like I needed that. Up in the air and at the rim is where I meet them at.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to another edition of I'm Not Gonna Hold You. I am your host, Scott Lewis. It is Friday, August 30th, 2024. It is the last show of the summer, or the official summer. We know some don't really end until the 21st, but last episode of the Offseason series we've been doing. Next week, season 5 will begin, man, and then that Monday after that, we'll be starting our regular schedule. So we get a lot into it, man. But you can follow me at Barberchair Scott on all social media platforms. You can follow the Barbers Chat Network on all social media platforms at Barbers Chair Net. You can subscribe to our Patreon, man. Subscribe to the Patreon right now, patreon.com/Barbers Chat Network. As you can see right here, the screen, you can scan that up there. If you're not by a screen that you can actually scan it, the link is right here in the description box as well, man. We have 4 different tiers that you can subscribe to, but if you subscribe to the $10 Barbers Share All Access tier, you get 25% off your first order on the newly opened Barbers Chair shop, which opened up today, including I'm Not Gonna Hold You. And as you can see right here, you can go there. The Barbershop Shop, bcnetshop.com. The link is in the description right now. Get all your stuff. We got Barbershop merch, I'm Not Gonna Hold You merch, 79th and Hollis merch. We got all that up there for you, man. And of course, visit your one-stop shop, everything Barbershop Network. That is the bcnet.com. And if you are in a gift-giving mood and you want to help me and Joe in our trip to London, to cover Bears Jaguars, will be October 13th. I'm keeping the link up till October 1st. Y'all have already submitted enough for us. We have gotten our hotel, we have gotten our flights. We're all good on that. But if you want to donate anything else to help us get this top-notch content out for y'all that we're gonna get to y'all during the 4 days over there, you can help us, donate anything to the GoFundMe if you feel like doing that. We appreciate your support for that as well, man. Of course, you can follow H&B Media, our partners, H&B Media TV on Twitter, and that H&B Media on Instagram. While you like it, subscribe, leave a comment. And also, we've got Super Chats open. If you want a question answered on there, you can look here in YouTube comments, click on the $, which is a Super Chat. Donate whatever you want. We'll answer a question for you right here live on air. We're going to be doing that a lot. We're testing it today. We'll be doing it real heavy. We'll have a segment for it when the actual season starts coming up, man. So I'm going to bring in my crew here today. We've got J.R. Bang and Dante. Of course, you can follow Bang at J.R. Bang on all social media platforms. You can follow Dante on Twitter at October's Own Tay. And we've got Courtney joining the second hour. Mariano will be joining the second hour as co-host. And then the one and only The Boy Illinois, the man who we hear on the intro song, will be joining in the second hour as well for a little bit to talk a little bit of basketball topic that I want to talk about. But how you fellas feeling today?
Feeling good, man. It's cooler. It's cool out here, but it's Friday, Labor Day weekend, and that means football is next week, so it's lit. Well, football.
Well, pro football, yeah.
No, I'm very solid. Got 18 in before I walked in the door, so you see the tan crazy right now. I was definitely just out in the sun for several hours, But nah, we good, bro. Like you said, football back. We watched Colorado do their thing. Travis Hunter is a guy, as they like to say. You know, he went crazy last night, and that was a really good game. That defense is gonna get cooked against real teams, but that's neither here nor there. But that was good to see. You know, guy that got that first run off, Shador did his thing and really got his season off to a good start, as well as Travis Hunter. Other than that, I can't complain, man. Ready for some more football. You know, living down here in SEC country, I got a lot of great games ahead of me. A lot of good football this weekend. I'm actually off all 4 days. I got a full 4-day weekend. I don't go back to work until
full week.
Oh,
Yeah. So yeah, bro. Georgia's gonna beat the shit out of Clemson in the dome. Might try to see if I can slide in there. Anybody got a credential? Holla at me. Let me get that.
I'll let them.
Yeah, this is gonna be a great weekend.
I am looking forward to it as well. Like you said, yeah, football is back. College football is back. Big game last night with North Dakota State and my Buffaloes. Of course, like I said, I'm a bandwagon fan. I'm Deion's my favorite player growing up. So wherever he go, I go. Don't hit me talking about sweet teams, weak conference. I don't give a fuck about none of that. Wherever prime at, I'm at, nigga. So that's pretty much where it comes at. So we'll talk about that game.
Week 6?
Where's that in week 6?
You gonna be that week 6 when they won in 4?
Yeah, I was there last year when yesterday was the first game they won since October. I will be here. I will be here. Wherever prime go, I go. Ooh, so we'll talk about that game in the second hour, man. But I'm excited to watch some football as well because this is going to be the last Sunday I have free until bye week for the Bears. So that's gonna be a lot. Shout out Damien in the chat. Damien said Dante a brave nigga for that. Well, thankfully for Dante, he lives in Atlanta.
You know, it's crazy. This is the hat that got me denied from like 3 bars when I was in Arizona. They was not fucking with me because I had this hat on, and I did not realize that until when I got back to the hotel. One of the dudes at the hotel was like, yeah, you know, LA not that far from here. He was like, so when they saw that hat, it was a no-go, sir.
He said you better get it together.
I actually like the Mariners. That's the crazy part.
Yeah, but this is the funniest thing, and this sounds fucked up, but the funniest thing that happened during Nipsey's funeral was when they had it on KTLA and the announcers were talking about the fans piling in the Stapleton. They said, got a lot of Mariner fans here today. I was like, my nigga, those ain't Mariner fans, brother. Those are 60s. That's what that is. But shout out to Damien in the chat. Shout out to everybody watching. He said Dante getting pressed in Scottsdale is hilarious. But let's just get right into it, man. With the local hour here.
It's the local hour.
There we go. Hit the vocals. The local hour is here where we talk about Chicago sports and nothing but Chicago sports for the next 45 minutes to an hour. Let's just get right into it. The 53-man roster was announced a couple days ago, actually, for the Bears, the final roster. Who will make the team? Who won't make the team? We'll get into that episode of Hard Knocks in a minute about how that was kind of it's like they did a spotlight on niggas who was gonna get cut. So I'm just gonna go over the 53-man and who got not accepted, but got put on the team, nigga. I don't know what I'm talking about.
Accepted like these fools.
Got accepted, right? Exactly.
Like they with the Morgan Park or some shit.
Exactly. Who made the team and who is on the practice squad and who's going to be working at Amazon for the new position with being a truck driver, man. So let's just get right into it. At quarterback, of course, no shocker here, Mr. Caleb Williams.
Glad he made the team.
Glad he made the team. Big shocker here.
Breaking news.
Breaking news.
Thank you, Magic Johnson. We appreciate that one.
The question was who is going to be his backups. Tyson Bagent will be the backup quarterback to Mr. Caleb Williams. Tyson had a really, really good preseason, especially last 2 games he played. He was really, really good. His pops look definitely like the nigga who put you in a headlock. Because he's friends with you and he just wants you to have a good time and drink. That's the kind of vibe that I get from Tyson Bagent's dad. But the question would be, will the team have 3 quarterbacks? Brett Rippon, who got paid, he got cut. He actually signed with the Minnesota Vikings a couple days ago. Hard Knocks favorite, Austin Reed will be on the practice squad. And I was very happy to see that he was one of the favorites on Hard Knocks. He's just overall a good dude. So it's good to see him on practice on Wednesday with the practice squad. So those are 2 who will be on the 53-man. Caleb Williams and Tyson Bagent. Now let's go to the wide receiver room. This one much deeper than it's been in Chicago Bears history. Of course, DJ Moore. Of course, Keenan Allen. Of course, number 9 pick, Roma Dunze, will be your starting 3. Tyler Scott, who I said had a nice camp. You know, he got to learn to keep his feet from falling. DeAndre Carter. I actually kind of shocked him. I mean, he had a good camp, but I didn't know if they were going to take Dante Pettis over him. Dante Pettis got cut, didn't make the practice squad either. DeAndre Carter. And I had a good interview with DeAndre Carter, too. Blame my brother. That nigga deleted it by accident. This is the second time he did that. Anyway, DeAndre Carter will make it. Jones Jr. survives once again. His last shot, he will be used mainly as running back, but he made the team as a wide receiver. We go to the running back room. The Bears are carrying 4 running backs on the main roster. Of course, their number 1 signing in the offseason. That is Mr. DeAndre Swift. He'll be the starter. I was wrong with my hot take saying Khalil Herbert will be on this, will get cut for this team. I thought Roschon Johnson was going to have a massive camp, and I didn't think they were going to keep this many running backs. I was wrong because I haven't seen Roschon Johnson with a helmet on his head in about 3 weeks. And Khalil Herbert has had a pretty good camp since then. So he makes it. Roschon Johnson makes it. And Travis Homer, surprisingly, makes it. I thought he was going to get cut. Offensive line, you got Darnell Wright. You got Braxton Jones, Tevin Jenkins, Ryan Bates, Nate Davis, Bill Murray, Coleman Shelton, who will be the starting center, especially with Bates being down at the minute. Doug Kramer Jr., Matt Pryor, and Kyron Amagambe. I'm 99% sure I pronounced that young man's African name wrong. I apologize. But that's the offensive line. Tight ends, 3 tight ends, of course, Cole Kmet, Gerald Everett, and Big Dog himself in his 18th season in the NFL, Mercedes Lewis. Defensive line, Montez Sweat, DeMarcus Walker, Andrew Billings, Dale Taylor, who just got traded from Seahawks last week. Dominique Roberts, Dom Rob made the team. Thought he cut as well. Chris Williams, who also just got traded from the Browns. Daniel Hardy, shout out to Daniel Hardy, who I had a nice interview him on the Chicago Bears. I'm not going to special, which is available right now on Patreon if you want to get it early. Zach Pickens, Austin Booker, and Gervon Dexter Sr. With the linebackers, you got Jermaine Edmonds, TJ Edwards, Jack Sanborn, Noah Sowell, and Amen Abin Gamma. Once again, I apologize. Defensive backs, Jalen Johnson, Jaquan Brisker, Kevin Byard. This is where it got tough. Tyree Stevenson, Kyler Gordon, Jonathan Owens, Elijah Hicks, Jalen Jones, Terrell Smith, and Josh Blackwell. There was some surprising cuts there as well. We'll get to that. Special teams, you got Cairo Santos, Torrey Taylor, and Patrick Scales, but he will be put on the IR, and they'll be looking to sign another long snapper as he's going to be having back surgery. So I wouldn't expect that nigga to come back for a nice little minute here. My thoughts on the roster. Ryan Poles told us back in July or back in June that it was going to be the toughest team that he's been a part to make it. He actually spoke to us on Wednesday and said that this process is very tough. And, trying to figure out what guys they're going to keep, what guys they weren't going to keep. Ian Wheeler, who was a star from Hard Knocks, he actually tore his ACL in the Chiefs game. And I kind of feel like, I don't want to say it was a gift, obviously, because he's got hurt, but I'm not sure he makes the roster if he didn't get hurt. So Ryan Poles put him on the IR, which means he's still on the team. He's going to be able to be with the team all season and gives him another chance for next year to officially make the team. So obviously you don't want to call Tony ACL a busting the skies, obviously, but it helped him get on the team. So it was definitely a lot of things. I think it showed the strength and the depth of the safeties. I mean, I'm not saying of the secondary. And it's something that Ryan Poles said. He said even through all his times of working with the Chiefs, this is the deepest roster he's seen. And so there wasn't too many surprises for me, but I really, really like on paper how it looks. Bang, I'm going to go to you first. What do you think about the 53-man? Was anybody who was surprised made it or surprised got cut?
Well, my surprise cut on the show was Kari Blasingame, who indeed did get cut. They cut him, but they brought him back. So I got one for my surprise cut. But no, outside of that, there's no surprises to me. It feels like that it feels like Ian Wheeler stayed on the team because he it feels like Velus stayed on the team because Ian Wheeler got hurt. So I just feel like that if Ian Wheeler didn't get hurt, we'd probably see Velus Jones Jr. On the sideline. But hey, however it happened, luck or skill or whatever prevails, that's the only surprise cut that I thought would happen. Kari Blasingame, that happened. So I'm pretty secure with this roster. Ryan Poles, and I know we'll talk about this in a minute, but he feels real secure about this roster. This is the first time he was able to say that since he's been here too. So I'm excited for what I see, especially on the defensive side, the defensive backs. This feels like one of the best defensive back rooms in the NFL too. So we'll see what happens, but I love it.
Dante, what you think?
I mean, there were really no surprises for me. I think more than anything, I got to apologize to my boy Tyson Bagent. I think last year, some of us, our haste to defend Justin Fields were quick to shit on Tyson and just act like he was just nothing. But as we've seen, and I don't want to put too much stock in the Hard Knocks because, of course, there's great editing, but just what we saw on the football field, he's really improved, and he looked like somebody who, if God forbid we needed him to play, a stretch of games this year, he would do all right. And the Bears really wouldn't miss too much of a beat in terms of someone who knows the offense, can get some points on the board, and keep that team afloat. So, seeing Tyson's development was dope. The Ian Cunningham thing, like you said, that was a blessing in disguise. That is one of the wild rules. Not wild. One of the interesting rules that the NFL has, that if you get hurt during that final preseason game, the team can't cut you. So that's going to help him out. I think this says a lot about, I think this really says a lot about the scheme and how they feel about running backs, because we have a lot of running backs. And so, for them to go heavy, to have Velus, who, now that versatility is now added to the team. Another thing, shout out, I'm really glad about Hard Knocks, is because now y'all niggas can stop calling him Velus. Like, the fact that everybody is now pronouncing his name right, I really appreciate that. Yes, Bailey. Like, it's written not hard.
I'm gonna pronounce his name the way I want to until he actually do something with his football life.
Country ass nigga.
That's valid. But no, overall, like, I think it's a very strong, very deep roster, and that's what we've talked about with Ryan Poles. I know I sent it to the chat, but we now have 49 of the 53 people on this roster are Ryan Poles guys. He brought them into the building. So, the clock is not started in a sense of urgency, but started now where we officially have his plan has been enacted. He has his quarterback. He has his coaching staff. Let's see what he does. So I'm excited for the final roster.
Shout out to everybody watching us on Instagram, man. Big shout out to y'all, man. But yeah, I'm with you about that. 48 was 48 or 49 out of 53.
49.
49.
What?
49.
Yeah, 49.
49. And that leads me into my next topic, man. I kind of want to give some love to the Bears general manager, Mr. Ryan Poles. You got to give this brother some love. First of all, I want to give him some love. I want to give Kevin Warren some love from just the way that the organization has changed over these last 3 years, and even more specifically the last year, honestly, since Kevin Warren has been president and CEO. I keep saying this, and people who aren't Chicagoans or aren't Bears fans don't understand. If you'd have told me 10 years ago, if you'd have told me 5 years ago that the Bears front office, the Bears staff, the Bears training staff will be about at least 50% black, I'd have like, there's no way. And that's and I think the Bears still had a pretty positive involvement, with different organizations being in the community in Chicago. But to see these people in places of power, it's been amazing. And that starts with this guy right here. This guy who was hired 2.5 years ago. I remember when the whole and what's the interview process? They put together like a team, and a lot of Bears fans like, what's going on? Why are you putting together a team to hire somebody? And a lot of people skeptical about the process, and a lot of people didn't know how you going to turn out. How he went from that roster that he had just 2.5 years ago, with having a quarterback who you didn't draft, a quarterback who, let's just be real about it, Ryan Pace only drafted to save his job. Justin got put in one of the worst situations ever. And I do believe that Ryan Poles gave Justin some shots to get better. Not in 2022, but I do believe he had enough last year to at least play better than how he played. Now, I understand that's an old conversation. We ain't got to get into that again. But if you'd have told me this time 2 years ago that this roster, the running back room would be what it is, that wide receiver room would be DJ Moore, Roma Dunze, and Keenan Allen, I'm like, you're crazy. And, this was when Caleb Williams' rookie Heisman season. You told me he'd been the quarterback, and like you're crazy. So to see them come from that to where they are right here, and just the way that's changed. We've said on the show, I've said there's no such thing as rebuilds in the NFL. I think it's retools, but he has been somebody that has crafted everything the way he went. He hasn't been thirsty, and even the L's that he took, he came out the gate. Like I said, when he got hired, I was like, I'm not giving love to a GM out the gate. I was off Phil Emery when he traded Brandon Marshall. I was off Ryan Pace way longer than a lot of the fans were. And even Ryan Poles, like, he has to gain my trust. The Larry Ogunjobi signing did not go well. The Chase Claypool trade did not go well. But the way he responded from that and owned that and kind of made this more of a model organization now, not just on the field, but off the field. I got to give love to him, man. And I think he's done his part. I think right now for this specific season, it's all on the players. And he's given himself so much flexibility. Look at all these contracts these wide receivers are getting. CeeDee Lamb and Justin Jefferson, and Brandon Aiyuk. DJ Morris looks like a steal. There's no bad contract on this roster. Even somebody like Nate Davis, you can get out of that next year, and has so much flexibility for the future, man. I really, really want to take this moment before the season starts to give Ryan Poles some love, because I can't believe, as a Bears fan, and even just as a media guy, and then a few times I've run into Ryan Poles in the facility, he's been a cool guy. And not to say that Ryan Pace wasn't, because he was. I never had any issues running into Ryan Pace. He was always a nice guy. But Ryan Poles, he is good, and it's good to see a brother doing this as well. So that's what I want to give a little bit of love to Poles. Now I'm gonna go to Bane, man. What you feel about Ryan Poles getting this team to where it's at right now as we get to head into this big season?
Hey man, shouts out to Leo Poles, man. He rebuilding Def Jam. That's what he's doing right now. He's rebuilding Def Jam. That's what he's doing. Now I remember when the Roquan Smith thing was going on, and I had christened him Leor because he was tearing down Def Jam, and he was tearing them down to build it back up. So the roster that we see him with right now is in the reflection of him. Every GM wants that, and then the biggest thing is when you have that, there's no excuse. But I know with the Roquan Smith deal, said the Larry, I can't pronounce his last name thing, where
Larry Ogunjobi.
There you go. They tried to sign him. Stuff happened. They even had him in the gym working out in the facility like he was gonna sign with the team for a little bit. The whole thing about Chase Claypool, a lot of things. I ain't gonna say a lot, but it was key things that did not work out that had people nervous. But it's just funny how one trade can change everything. And if everything works out, Ryan Poles will have his hand in the greatest trade in NFL history. I think this trade will, if successful, if they get a Super Bowl or two out of it, and the longevity with some of the players, this trade would far surpass what Jimmy Johnson did with the Dallas Cowboys when they fleeced the Minnesota Vikings when they traded them Herschel Walker in what I believe it was 1989 and got all of those picks. They got a number one pick, and they drafted Russell Maryland with that. They end up getting basically the rest of their team with that one trade. So as long as everything works out, man, Ryan Poles will never have to pay for a meal in Chicago again.
I kind of want to change the question a little bit for Dante a little bit. Like we know, kind of talk about the love that Poles should be receiving, and also kind of compared to the other GMs in the city who are doing anything but their jobs.
Wow, and on a day when I thought I was going to be positive, you want me to bring some of the negativity.
You can be positive and negative. Show the black man his love, then go to the other niggas.
Yeah, no, but with Ryan Poles, like we said, it's the fact that he's had a plan, and it's rare in Chicago. You see a GM come with the plan. The plan actually makes sense. The plan actually matches what's happened in modern times of insert sport here, and this nigga pulled it off. We've always joked about things falling in our favor, but that's just reality. Like, we got the number one pick on a fourth down conversion that should not have happened. Like, just Lovie Smith said, fuck it. You feel me? Like, and here we are, ended up with Caleb Williams. We know everything that's come with the DJ Moore trade. So you look at that, you look at what he's done, and looking at how impressed we were on Hard Knocks when he broke down why he's basically not giving up a third for a 1-year rental of a 32-year-old, and just breaking down his process and the fact that he showed you he is out there actively trying to make this roster better and not just resting on what he's already done, which we've seen other GMs do in this city and in this Bears share at times. The few that have had success. So to see him build his roster, he's getting applause from everyone. You see him doing all the interviews, probably in line for GM of the year. But he's not satisfied because he understands the job is not done yet. He understands that there's more to do here, and that he, is still building what his ultimate goal is of a Super Bowl champion. So you love to see that. And as for everybody else in the city, I think it's simple. Those ownership groups aren't holding them to that standard. Like, those are money printers. Like, they don't give a fuck what you do. Just don't get caught saying any racial or homophobic slurs on television and make the brand look bad. That's pretty much it. And you can work for the Bulls, the White Sox. Who else is trash in this right now?
The Cubs too. Them niggas ain't all
good. Yeah, they're not good. Yeah. But yeah, that's how it goes. Those are more so money printers for those respective families. And you finally had the Bears. And I think as much as people may not want to admit it, I know we always say, don't nobody give a damn about Detroit. The fact that the Lions owner, as old as she is, went to her family and said, hey, we got to start winning some shit. This is ridiculous. And they allowed them to go in and make changes. I do think that had an effect on Virginia. Like, I do believe that Virginia saw that and was like, she may not have said, hell no, the Lions not gonna do this before us, but she was probably told them, like, hey, I'm getting up there in age. Let's put a real winner out there and give it an actual shot.
Yeah, I do think that probably has something to do with it. Maybe you don't want to be embarrassed by your, division rivals, which you've been getting embarrassed by as long as I can fucking remember. But especially a team like the Lions. Like, even though we're in year 3 of the Lions being a good team, well, year 2 of them being a good team, year 3 of them actually being like on the radar, it's still the Lions, nigga. It's hard for me to actually look at them like that. I still look, it's like your little brother who, like, this nigga grew up a little bit, like, yeah, okay, nigga, I can still put you in the headlock. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of like, especially when I feel like every time the Bears play the Lions, should have swept them niggas last year. But I do think that probably had something to do with it. And I understand with the whole money printer thing. I get it. I think so. We was actually in the media room on Wednesday, and I'm not gonna say the reporter, but somebody's like, "How does Jerry Reinsdorf sleep at night?" And then we was like in a puddle full of fucking money. Like that's how he sleeps at night. Like the nigga don't care. But to me, I always looked at, maybe this is just my naive fandom here. I always felt like you're gonna make more money if you win. Like, of course, obviously you got to spend, but you're gonna make more money if you win. So I get it, but that was always confusing to me. Like, what's the point of buying something just to not just have it?
Well, I agree with you to a point. I agree with you to a point, but if you have a team that's constantly going to the playoffs, they might not win it, but they're constantly going to the playoffs and they feel less in it. That's more attractive in some cases than actually winning a Super Bowl or NBA championship or whatever, because then the expectations come with it. Like, look at the New England Patriots right now. They have nothing. They're going to be terrible this year. They're going to be terrible next year. They're going to be terrible for the foreseeable future. Their fan base is used to 20 plus years of winning. So the expectation that the owner has and what the fans are going to have is to win. When they don't win, that stadium is going to look like it did before Drew Bledsoe was there and they was at the bottom of the NFL every goddamn year.
Yeah, if it was that kind of situation, I would definitely agree. The problem is these teams don't be making the playoffs. Like, outside of that, during the John Paxson era, yeah, the team was always making the playoffs. this AK era, these niggas made the playoffs one actual time. You know, the play, and if you want to count the play in or whatever, the White Sox made the playoffs like 5 times in 100 years. The Cubs a couple times. Like that's to me, which is I get what you're saying, and I agree. It's just I just don't understand that.
But you gotta think about this is why you can just sit there and let it bleed, because it's not really bleeding. You raking their money. 2, you know, Jerry Reinsdorf. He put $9.2 million into getting the Bulls, and they're now worth what, $2.4 billion, which means if they sell him, they're gonna give $4.8.
Oh,
I think he's like a 20% owner. Yeah, so at least 5 Bs. So he gonna go home with like 2 when you put in $9.2 million. The White Sox he paid $19 million for. They have $1 billion valuation or something close to it. You know, I'm sure if they sold, they would sell for over $1 billion. It's a major market. They wouldn't move the team. So yeah, he don't give a fuck. He owns the parking lots around both stadiums. He gets revenue. The city, as I'm not mistaken, the city is still paying for the renovations on Comiskey. So as long as he doesn't crack a certain gate, he gets a certain amount of money. So he's literally just sitting there raking in money. So it's just more so he doesn't have to put the effort in. He can sit here and keep putting his homies on who don't know shit. He can keep digging up Tony La Russa and, you know, giving him
I still
important
can't
jobs.
believe he's still in the fucking
Tony La Russa had
that's
the
crazy.
The White Sox situation is a whole totally different situation, because the same amount of people that is on this stream be at the games. So that's a whole totally different situation. But the Bulls have made me, because of Jordan too, the Bulls have created an aura around them that people are going to come. Same thing with the Bears. The Bears had an aura around them that the people were going to come. It's just after a while, folks start getting fed up. And that's when really the McCaskey's like, okay, yo, we got to make changes, because now these seats are a bit empty and stuff. But I think now, I will say this, as far as the Bears go, it's going to be interesting, especially since, look, not being morbid or some stuff, but Virginia McCaskey ain't going to be here long. All right. It's going to be interesting once she passes away and how everything looks, whether it is the family continuing ownership or somebody else coming in. I think my man named Pat Ryan is the second largest owner of the team, and he might could pick it up, or if somebody else comes in. It's going to be very interesting how this regime does as far as the front office and what expectations the Bears put, or the front or the ownership puts on competing long term. Because
and that's gonna be even when, not to cut you off, but that's even gonna be whenever Ryan Pohl's contract is up, because of course we don't know what the actual length is. They don't tell us nothing. Because if Ryan Pohl's builds a winner, that nigga's gonna look for a check. You gonna really see the expectation.
And the Bears have not had a football czar, so to speak, ever really. Like they don't have a president of football operations. They don't have that. I could very well see Ryan Poles getting that in the next 2 to 3 years and being able to promote somebody to take his place. I could see the Bears being in a situation like the Baltimore Ravens, how the Baltimore Ravens has 2 Super Bowls in the Ozzie Newsome era. He was able to groom and grow Eric DeCosta, and he moved up and he took his place. And while they have not won a Super Bowl in some years,
12 years,
they consistently compete. You don't see a year where we're not talking about the Baltimore Ravens. I can see the Bears like that, where they can eke out a couple of Super Bowls, but still just have sustained success to where you're just growing from within and you're keeping that stuff going, which when you look at it, even though the Baltimore Ravens has less championships than the New England Patriots, we knew once Bill Belichick and Tom Brady was out of there, we knew that organization was going to be out of there. The Baltimore Ravens has went through numerous changes since their first Super Bowl, back in 2000, and they're still relevant. And that's what we can see right there. That's what I believe that the Bears can do. But it's going to be interesting to see what happens when things start to happen and things start to change over.
And I do think too, and then we'll close. Go ahead, my bad, Dante. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna answer that question real quick.
Okay.
Just between the homies I know who work at different NFL entities and entities with connections to the NFL and shit like that, owners are very cliquish.
Very.
Like, you got the old family money, you got the new money that's coming in, and then you got the Power Five. We all know who the Power Five are: Jerry Jones, Arthur Blank, Robert Kraft, Stan Kroenke, and there's one more. His name is slipping me right now, but
is it the owner of the Eagles? Is it Jeffrey Lurie?
You said Kroenke, right?
No. It's Buddy from the Jets.
Woody Johnson.
Woody Johnson. That's the Power Five. Those are the five most powerful owners in the NFL, and so they hoard the power, like the league does. What Jerry Jones says. I think people know that.
He's Eric Bischoff to Goodell's Vince McMahon.
Just go look at how the Rams ended up in LA.
Yeah, exactly. his vision. No, fuck that. I give you some extra. There's a company called Legends that he owns with Stan Kroenke that whenever they build a new stadium, they help fill the stadium. They sell all the seating licenses. They sell all the concessions. They do all of that shit. It's owned by Jerry Jones. So yes, this is Jerry's league. But that's why you have the old heads who don't have money. Like prime example, that's why they don't like the Chargers owner, because he's just got old family money and they just look at him like he's broke. So like it's shit like that.
I want to know how they look at the McCaskies. Like, it's like Hard Knocks says, like them niggas ain't got bread outside of the Bears. Like, but I think maybe because the Bears are the charter franchise that they give them a pass. I don't know, but I do think it'll be interesting.
No, that is why. That's 100% why.
That's 100% why.
You can't disrespect a charter franchise.
I think and we'll close with this. We'll go to the next topic, man. I think like you said, this is not us being morbid or anything. We're just age-wise, when Miss McCaskey does pass away, I am going to be interested to see if there's going to be any tech niggas trying to get into, who going to drop some money that the Bears might not say no to. Like maybe a Jeff Bezos, somebody like that. I don't know. That's going, especially if the team is winning. If Caleb becomes who we all think he'll be when this stadium eventually does get open, no matter how much Kevin Warren wants to happen downtown, I still don't think it's going to happen. That's going to be real interesting to see what that's going to be like, man. But let's go on to our next topic. The next topic is we can stay here with Miss McCaskey. Hard Knocks. We had just watched episode 4, the penultimate episode of Hard Knocks. Next week will be the finale. And a lot of people, don't really like what they're seeing. A lot of Bears fans don't really like what they're seeing. A lot of them call it bad. I'll put it like this. I did think that last week's episode was probably the most boring out of the 4 that I've seen so far, but I also think a lot of people who haven't watched Hard Knocks recently and the training camp Hard Knocks, and it's kind of what you're going to get. Now, there was a big deal about the cussing. George McCaskey finally came out and spoke about it and said, yeah, that was something we wanted to have in there because we want kids to watch. He said, we understand that football players are adults and they cuss, but we wanted this to be a family-friendly thing so everybody can watch, because there's Bears fans of all ages. There's hella kids at Bears camp practices. Me personally, I've said it before. I said it last week. I'm continuing to say it. It don't matter that fucking much to me. I feel like if your enjoyment of this is because there wasn't enough profanity, and look, there was some cussing in last year's Jets, but it ain't like it was Def Comedy Jam, my nigga. Like, I don't think it's that big of a deal. And I see grown folks losing it because they want this stuff to be marketable to kids. To me, is just weird. Now, when I think Bears fans had such a high expectation for this show, and rightfully so. I'm not saying they're wrong for the expectations. The Bears have never been on this show in the 24-year history of it. The Bears are the charter franchise. They've got so many fans. And, with everything coming together in this offseason the way it is, and also the Bears, before they actually started doing 1920 football drive these last couple seasons, don't really give access. So I understand the hype and the expectations for the fans. The reason for me why I haven't been disappointed about it, because like I said, this is what Hard Knocks has been post social media area. When different teams start making their own content, you're gonna get nothing but practice. You're gonna get nothing but the games. You can't do cuts anymore because the NFL changed it where you can't actually show the players in the meeting getting cut. So that was a big thing before that got banned. And even like people say, oh, how many times we got to see Rome going to the grocery store? Last year you saw Aaron Rodgers and Solomon Thomas going to Broadway. You saw them niggas in Hamilton. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that to me is like, we obviously aren't watching the other ones. This is just how it is. Now, that's just pretty much where it is for me. I'm going to go to Dante first. Dante, do you think that Hard Knocks is mid, or do you think the Bears fans expected too much?
Normally, typically, I go in and say some words about George, but I think it's one of those moments where you gotta just accept that he is a very, vanilla guy. I still enjoy Hard Knocks. I liked it. I think last week's episode was the one way you can, highlight the guys who are getting cut without highlighting the guys who are getting cut. It gives more humanity to it. So, that really wasn't having issues for me. It wasn't much of an issue for me. But yeah, like I said, it's with the McCaskies. We know that's how they move and that's how they do. So, I don't think it, like, as we see the comments coming in, it didn't affect us as Bears fans because we wanted to see this anyway. We knew, and we know that this may be the one and only time we see the Bears on Hard Knocks, at least for another 30 years, or until, like you said, there's a change in ownership in the ownership group. So none of that really mattered to me. Hard Knocks is what it is at this point. Like, we knew, I said this when you asked us the first time what I expected. The storylines are built in. Ian Wheeler and his mom, that, stole the show this episode. And that was something that I think got him a lot more fans. And just like I said, we talk about, they like adding, showing the human side of this. I feel like they really tried to humanize everybody that got cut and everybody that didn't make the team, especially Buddy, the safety who was walking around grounding himself with no shoes on. Like, what's his name, Scott?
Adrian Colbert.
Yeah. Like, so, even with him, his story and getting fucking ran over on his way to a game and all of that. And so that was their way to say, all right, they didn't make the team, but these are still some unique stories. And I'm sure some of them, we already know some of them got picked up for the Bears practice squad, but there'll be other places in the league. But overall, with Hard Knocks, this is Hard Knocks now. Like, this is what it is. It's not this like the league. The league is very, very, very sensitive about their image. And so now we get the same Hard Knocks we got when we were watching, when we were shorties, when it first came out, when it was really just raw and just straight football. Like,
when you saw Tony Saragusa put niggas in headlocks and eating 2 pounds of food,
you're not getting that.
When pussies, you're not getting that no more.
Yeah, you're not getting that. You're not getting John Gruden cursing out Chris Sims because he don't know the cadence. Because Chris Sims just sounded like a fucking idiot. But that's type of stuff they're not gonna show anymore. They're gonna just really package it up nice and neat and show, hey, here's the NFL. Here you go. So
it's a crazy comment. Practice squad car, we want the universe. Universe had other plans. Have fun in Canada. Okay.
That's crazy. That's crazy. That man didn't do nothing but spread positivity for the 7 minutes he was on your TV screen. And you had to say that shit. The man brought the bowls out, the sound bowls.
The numb your whole renge.
I looked them bitches up. They not cheap.
Our Puerto Rican brother Mikey put on Twitter, you got a lot more time to play with them bowls, brother. Which is
Numb your horenge.
Bang, what you think, man? What you think? Hard Knocks is mid or Bears expectations just high as usual?
Bears fans' expectations as high as usual. You got what you get from Hard Knocks. You got inspirational stories. You got people fighting for gigs. You got the stars on the team. You got a profile on the coach. What else did you expect? I'm confused to what people expected. Because you didn't hear somebody cuss, it's a problem. Like, come on, y'all. You got what you got. Now, if the issue is that the Bears players is lame,
that's valid.
Hey, it's valid if you want it to be valid. If you feel like Caleb and Rome are lame, if you felt like you want to see DJ Moore with a whole bunch of women and not be a family man and go to the ice cream museum. I didn't even know it was a damn ice cream museum, fam. So that was new in itself. So if it's stuff like that you want to see people, driving fast Corvettes and shit and possibly getting in trouble with the law, that's what you're not going to get. This is this might be a bland team. So don't blame Hard Knocks. Blame the players, right? if you don't see anything out of there you go, Alex. A boring Hard Knocks mean not only the locker room is happy, hey, we're probably gonna have a good season. Like
Right.
there was no struggle. If it's only if I have to nitpick, if it was one thing that I can understand is that there was no strife. There was no like, oh shit, somebody on the team might get in trouble. Like it wasn't that. And you know what? I'm happy. This Hard Knocks, if you want me to keep it a buck, this Hard Knocks is the reason why I'm excited about this season. I got no controversy. Wasn't no issues with the team. Wasn't nobody complaining. Wasn't
We ain't
nobody
got no
bitching.
Tank Johnson situation.
Ain't no
going
Tank
on.
Johnson situation.
You ain't heard about Rome kicking it out west at El Grand. We ain't heard none of that, bro.
You ain't got no vets fighting rookies. Like this is good. I like this.
No, I'm going to say, Caleb being a lane might be the greatest development in all of this, because that means like he really he care about football. Like, and I like that. Like everybody sat here for months, years, and called him, he's a diva. How is he gonna react? How's he gonna do this? How's he gonna do that? All I ever saw him do was talk about football. Like that's all we ever saw. Like obviously that's partially intentional, but just in every interview outside of Hard Knocks, what you've seen is just somebody who want to play football, and like it's not any of the extras. Like I feel like obviously I'm not knocking them because everybody's their own person, but like Shedeur Sanders has more ego than Caleb Williams.
Yeah.
Like you feel me? Like it's
you don't see Caleb coming out to his own rap song to fight North Dakota State. And by the way, I love Shedeur. By the way, he's one of my favorite players.
Yeah, it's solid, but no, it's not the same. So for me, the season, the expectations are high, and it's partially because of Hard Knocks, but mainly it's because it just seems like a team that's focused on playing football, not the extras.
Yeah. I want to go to this next topic. This is not actual news. This is me being a conspiracy theorist. Theory time over here. I want to talk about why I feel there might be a silent. I don't know if I want to fully call it beef, but maybe there's a lot of Kobe Jordan early energy between Patrick Mahomes and Caleb Williams, and I say that because
here we go.
Yeah. Roll with me real quick. This is why. First of all, Patrick Mahomes, 15. He's the best quarterback. He's not the best. He's the best player in football. You know what I'm saying? Let's get very clear. I kind of cringe when I see the comparisons because it's like saying who's the next Jordan, who's the next LeBron, who's the next Steph Curry, who's the next KD. You know what I'm saying? Like those are very, shout out to you, new sub. Those are very slippery slopes. You know what I'm saying? I think if anything, there are some similarities, but here's why. I'm finna pod real quick. This is why I feel like there might be a little beef between these two. You did not see them piece it up in the middle of the field after that Kansas City game. I don't want to hear that he didn't play.
ISO.
I give him with the ISO. You didn't. I don't want to hear he didn't play. I saw Chris Jones on that field. I saw Chris Jones intentionally walk up to him and said, "I love what you're doing, brother. Keep it up." I saw that. I saw the love that Josh Allen showed Caleb twice when they had warm-ups before the game. He came out intentionally to Caleb and said, "Yo, I love, big fan, man. Just I hope you have a great season." And then passed it up again at the end of the game. I saw Mr. Joe Burrow do the same thing 3 times. I saw him do it at camp for the joint practice, and I saw him do it before the game, and I saw him doing it after the game. I'm gonna go even further. When he does his interviews, they asked him who's some of the top 5 quarterbacks. He said he loves Aaron Rodgers. And I love how he separates like, it's the package, but I love Aaron Rodgers.
And Rodgers and Matthew Stafford. Yes.
Matthew Stafford, big Stafford guy. You know what I'm saying? He's named all these other different quarterbacks.
He said Matthew Stafford is probably 1-2 in the NFL.
Yeah. So I think that there's some, and even when I think my brother asked him after the preseason game against Cincinnati, my brother got the first question. He said, "How do you feel about the Pat Mahomes comparison. He gave my brother the same look that Pat gave me when I asked him about the Bears not drafting him last year. You know what I'm saying? He said, "Yeah, Pat is Pat with it." But he's like, "That nigga, like that's the vibe that I got." You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Shane O'Mac, he finally mentioned it in the but he even now I felt Maria Taylor was trying to get it out of him to mention Pat, and he was just like, "All right, man, whatever." Yeah, he said Brady. Yeah, this nigga's doing the TB12 thing. He's on a TB12 diet. When he was at Michael Rubin's house, he was talking to Jay-Z and Tom Brady. We haven't heard that. Oh, I reached out to Pat, and you would think maybe that would be something because Ryan Poles drafted him. I'm telling you, there's something to this. I think that maybe a little bit of a cold war here between these two. Not this actual hate, but I think this might be the kind of Kobe Jordan thing where Kobe will go to Mike and tell him, "I'll bust your ass right now, nigga. Put on them shorts right now." I think it might be that kind of thing. What y'all think about my conspiracy theory? I'm gonna go to Bang first.
At first, I was hoping when I saw the rundown, I was hoping that this is not what you was going to say. But man, I don't want to use the term Cold War, but I feel you on the Jordan Kobe assessment. The only reason why I don't want to go that far is because Caleb ain't played in a real NFL game yet.
Right.
But when he do, let me say this. If the Bears get off to the start that I feel like they're gonna get on, the talk is gonna be there. The talk is gonna be there. But the only reason why I'm going to avoid this is because Caleb ain't played in the game yet. But when Caleb, I think it was Shady McCoy, who was the first person that says something might be there.
Yeah.
Because he said, why would he say out of all people, Matthew Stafford is number 2 or a top quarterback when Patrick Mahomes is there? Shady McCoy is the first person that made me go, yeah, why would he think that? So I'm not gonna give it any love. I'm not gonna give it any attention until the Bears go like 5-1 and he's sitting down with Clarissa Thompson for Amazon or
Taylor
Rooks or Kimberly Martin. And they say, so these comparisons with Patrick Mahomes, what do you think? And he avoids it, or how he avoids it, that's when I know for sure. I'm going to avoid it for now, though.
Dante, what you think about this, man? Am I on to something, or am I reaching like Giannis right now? What you feeling?
I mean, it's possible. It's possible. It's still early, but like everything you said is true. So I mean, it's one of those things where we've talked about him as a competitor, and we've seen him say how much of a competitive person he is. And so that wouldn't surprise me if it's this guy you keep being compared to, and you're like, no, I kind of think I'm better than him. So I would love it. Like I told you, at this point, I'm 10 toes down with the shit. So
you come a long way, my brother.
I pray at this point, I want him to be like. I wanted him to actually be an arrogant dickhead and just be great. And then there was nothing we could do about it. But at this point, if he's this, reserved football nerd who is, has a mean streak and don't really give a fuck about what y'all talking about with this Pat Mahomes talk, then I'm all for that. I'm all for that. Because, I think we're past the point of trying to get the prototypical quarterback in Chicago. No, we need a guy who's going to be unique. This is a unique situation. We've never had anything. We're not gonna go into details about it. We know how this goes, but we've never had it. So it's like at this point, bring it. I hope that's really who he is, and I hope this shit is true, and I hope we get to the point where when they face off in the Super Bowl and they ask him the question, and he tell people what y'all gonna see on Sunday, and he go out there and smack the nigga. That would be amazing.
That would be amazing, man. That would definitely be amazing, man. That's all we got for the local hour right now, man. We're going to get ready to take a little quick break. On the other side of things, we will have the boy Illinois, who is the man behind this amazing theme song. He is also a friend of the program. We're gonna have him on for a couple minutes, man. We want to talk about, this. It's kind of like this NBA eras talk. You know what I'm saying? We in the NBA, off season, Olympics wrapped up, but my man, young Anthony Edwards, had some interesting comments, and our guy, the Magic Man, struck back. I want to talk about that and kind of like the differences between these NBA generations. Why I feel this generation talk is dangerous, man. So we'll be back in about a minute. I'm not gonna hold you. Season 5, we back September 6th. Think we talk about Chicago Bears too much? Guess what? We doubling down. It's gonna be more Chicago Bears talk. In fact, we're gonna be starting the show with Chicago Bears talk. We're not talking basketball. We don't hit none of that basketball bull. We here for real football. That's the talk we're gonna give y'all. If you're looking for stats, if you're looking for real analysis, if you're looking for advanced stats, this is not the show for you. So I would turn this off right now. Go watch your NFL countdown or whatever bull be watching on Sundays. This is the stuff we're gonna be talking about all season. It's your boy Scott, Barbershop Network, HB Media TV. I'm not gonna hold you. Season 5. Tune in September 6th.
So cool.
Triple double hat trick, I know the code too. Ice trade, go for trade, yeah we cold too. Getting paper on these player haters, old news. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to hour 2 here on I'm Not Gonna Hold You. It is your boy Scott. We've got a nice second hour. Courtney will be joining us in just a minute. The homie Mariano will be joining us as well as co-host in the second hour. But we got a very special guest. He's not even a guest anymore. He's friend of the program. This is my brother right here. He is the man behind this amazing theme song that he crafted for me 3 years ago. I knew the minute I heard it, like, that's it, right away. The one and only Boy Illinois, Illy. What's going on, brother?
What's going on, man? Y'all can hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We can hear you live and clear. What's going on, bro?
I'm good. I'm blessed to be here.
Well, man, first of all, I want to ask, like, how's the music going? I know you've been promoting a lot of stuff. You're gearing up for your next album, Inhale Part 5. You got a lot of stuff going on, man. Got any update for the fans on when the album is going to be coming?
October, and I just been releasing a lot of songs that I had just sitting, and I have probably a good 50 songs still sitting. I want to release them in some form of fashion, maybe through somebody else. I don't know, something like that. So I just been putting music out because I've kind of been on this hiatus, kind of sort of. And this song, this theme song, brought me back into the game. I was like, all right, people still rock with me, so I'm gonna keep feeding. And plus, I don't really like what's going on, so I'm like, I'm still nice. I'm very nice. so why not do it? Keep going. So yeah. So October, Inhale Part 5 in October.
Inhale Part 5. Look out for that in October. Of course, we want to have you back on when that comes out to talk about it, man. Y'all can follow him at The Boy Illinois on all social media platforms. Get in tune with him, man. But brought you on, man, because I had this topic on the rundown, and then I saw you talking about it on your IG story. I'm like, all right, let me bring him on here to have him on here for a little bit and talk about this for people who've been living under a rock. Mr. Anthony Edwards himself. He's on a high right now after winning that gold medal. I don't have a quote that he said, but I remember what he said. He said that he said, I didn't watch it, which is hilarious. They put that out there. I didn't watch it, but if you look at the 80s and the 90s, the only athletic people around who had skill was Michael Jordan. This got a lot of the old heads offended. Isaiah Thomas came out on his Twitter, said, let it be known we can play in any era. Basically told him, be careful. You know what I'm saying? Don't do too much in typical West Side nigga fashion. And then Mr. Magic Johnson, Magic, who always smiles, Magic always happy. If I was that rich and survived AIDS, I'd be that happy too, nigga. He said I don't know if it was on a talk show, whatever.
It was at Invest Fest.
It was
investment.
That's what it was. He said they asked him about it. He said, and I quote, "I never responded to a guy that's never won a championship. He didn't win a college championship. I don't even know if he won a high school championship." And he said it with a very serious face. Before I give my takes on it, I'm gonna give it to Illy first. I know you went on a little rant about this on your IG story. Tell me what you feel about this.
Yeah. Well, just to expound upon what I was talking about on my IG story, at the end of the day, man, 2 points is 2 points. And as fancy as it looks, a double euro, this, that, and the other, you either scoring 3 points or you're scoring 2 points. I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, different players could play in different eras, but to say it's less athletic and less skilled, if Ray Allen, if Reggie Miller, if Mark Price could shoot 14 and 15 threes a game, you don't think they would shoot them at a high clip and be putting up numbers like that? Of course. And then also at the end of the day, like I was saying, the emphasis on these basketball players' IQs is very low. And at the end, in the last 2 minutes of the fourth quarter, it's not a lot of them who can really go get a bucket like on a consistent basis. So that's really what it boils down to. So your athleticism and skill and all this hoopla, that's cool. But when the team needs you, when it's time to perform and go 4 for 5 in the fourth, can you do that? I don't really see that amongst the younger generation right now. And that's really what it all boils down to. So knowing the game and knowing basketball at the end of the day, it really doesn't matter how athletic, how skilled you are. I mean, also what I was saying, TJ McConnell been busting ass, was busting ass all playoffs. He could be considered a plumber in the 80s, in the 90s, and he'd be killing because his basketball IQ is such at a high clip. You can't stop him if you don't know how to play actual basketball. So that's what I feel like the younger generation has been lacking for a long time, and they say stuff like that because again they don't got the type of basketball IQ to not say stuff like that. So it is what it is, though, man. That's my take on it. It's a foolish conversation to have. Very foolish.
Very foolish conversation to have. I want to go to Bang next. I know Bang be really going off on these topics. What you think about the comment and just like generation on generation conversation?
Man, at some point you got to respect the OGs, fam. I think this is just flat out disrespectful. My man out here feeling himself because he had a good playoffs. He feeling himself because he got a gold medal, and you say something stupid like this. First off, Illy is right. He's right to the point that I said this on some dude, and we've said this here. We've said it mostly about the NFL and talked about quarterbacks. You can relate this to the NFL, to the NBA too. Where's that second or third tier player group in the NBA? Like if TJ McConnell is in that list,
where the role players?
Like where's the role players? Where are the wily veterans? It's barely even vets in the NBA now. So there's that piece. That's the main reason why honestly Anthony Edwards was wrong, because the second, third, and fourth tier of NBA players are better than the ones there now. Like we knew who the bench players was, like more than the sixth man was. We knew that dude, that specialist that just came off the bench that'll torch your ass for the three. So that's one. Two, I'm more actually with this shit. I'm actually more mad at the OG NBA players of this day by not putting their arm around and saying, "All right, fam, you got to chill." That's what I'm mad at. When you hear something as stupid as that, where's LeBron at? LeBron be on Twitter about everything else. Well, LeBron at to be like, "All right, young fella, we tripping now. I feel you. I know what you're trying to say, but nah, we going too far." KD will go back and forth with anybody on Twitter that just mentions his name but not tag him. Where was he at to tell Ant, "Yo, fam, you tripping"? These are the worst set of NBA vets I have ever seen in my life. Because back in the day, if somebody said anything wrong about Wilt Chamberlain, they said anything wrong about Oscar Robertson, Bill Russell, And all of the vets of their time, like the ones that they looked up to, Dr. J, David Thompson, George Gervin, if they said something about any of those, the vets of that time will be like, all right, y'all tripping. These are some of the GOATs. They paved the way for us. Hey, if you want to big us up, that's cool, but you ain't got to do anything like that. That's the reason why Anthony Edwards could feel like he could say the shit that he's saying, simply because who gonna check him? Who in the NBA right now gonna put their arm around him and be like, all right, fam, you tripping? Ain't nobody gonna do it. Nobody gonna do it. So that's why we continue, especially in the NBA, because in the NFL, they don't do that shit. When the NFL, hey, yo, you tripping, young fella. In the NBA, though, now you say something about the OG. Like, there's Instagram pages right now of niggas saying that Michael Jordan was Huff. Like, not even Gary Payton and Sean Kemp. No, there are people who go on social just to say Michael Jordan is Huff. He ain't got no right hand. He ain't got no left hand. He can't do this. He can't do that. I am tired of shit going unchecked by these niggas that's supposed to be the people that these kids are looking up to. Steph, KD, LeBron, James, all y'all niggas are allowing this shit from these young niggas. And the funny part about it is when Anthony Edwards is the wild vet and he's in his 10th year, Marsh is gonna be around here talking about some Cooper Flag is better than anybody, and they're gonna be disrespecting LeBron, KD, Steph, and all of those people. It happens, but you need the OGs of this time to check them. And I am tired of people in the NBA not checking these folks for the dumbass takes that they throw out there, when at the end of the day, this shit's supposed to be a brotherhood. So like, no, y'all tripping.
Card is on fire today.
Like, y'all, hey, look, man. Alex just mad because the only Puerto Rican nigga that ever did anything in his basketball life is Carlos Arroyo, nigga.
We got the homie Mari joining us right now. Mariano, what's going on, brother?
What up, though, man? What's going on?
Long time no see.
What's going on, my boy?
Yeah, you know.
Hey, real quick.
What up?
Orlando, since you're talking about Reggie Theus, Reggie Theus don't like me.
Yeah, I know that's that story on Summer Sessions.
Yeah,
you know Reggie Theus inspired Dom Kennedy. Dom Kennedy. You heard the song? What he said? This money shit was forced on us when Reggie Theus pulled up in the Porsche on us.
But wait a minute, Scott. I have an update to that story real quick.
Okay.
So my man who was with me at the game while I was talking shit to Reggie Theus when the Bulls played Sacramento, Reggie Theus saw him and said, "Hey man, weren't you that kid that was with that dude that was talking shit to me during the Bulls game?" I was like, "Man, he remembered that shit." He was like, "Yo, he remembered me. He remembered you. I'm just driving the airport bus, my nigga." And he said something. So yeah, shouts out to Reggie Theus, man.
A lot of people don't know that Michael Jordan's original wife was originally with Reggie Theus before. That's an old school Chicago nigga fact right there. A lot of niggas don't know. But I'm gonna let Maury take the floor on this topic, and I'll go to mine, and then we'll wrap this topic up. But we were talking about the Magic Johnson.
Y'all ain't got nobody in NBA fan. Yeah. Rafael Arulo, nigga.
Who's my man who played for the Warriors in Dallas? Eduardo Najera, was he Mexican?
We talking about Mexicans?
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, Eduardo.
They got Devin Booker. They got Devin Booker.
Yeah, right. You got D Book.
Devin Booker, Mexican.
You got D Book. Yeah.
Right.
Mexican Jordan. Nigga.
Yeah, I forgot. Devin Booker woke up one day and said, "I'm Mexican and I'm from Detroit." Like, I forgot he came with that all in one time. But Mariano, we were talking about the comments that Anthony Edwards made about Michael Jordan being the only one from the era having skill, and Magic Johnson just pulling his card. What do you think about that comment? And just overall, is it toxic to have these generation on generation conversations?
Absolutely, it is. But I mean, it happens all the time. Like I think what's going on is like we're seeing what it looks like and like what it feels like. You remember when we was coming up and we like, man, I ain't trying to hear that shit about no 70s, no 80s. This is what it is right now, and like. That's just what it looks like now. So, like, we done got old enough to be like, oh, damn. These boys growing up and they telling us the same shit about our greats and all that. As a Michael Jordan advocate, part of me has no problem with what he said because I'm just biased like that. But I mean, he's wrong, obviously. Like Ant was bugging saying that. But he also said he didn't watch, so he can't speak on it.
Yeah,
And then he continued to speak
hilarious.
on it. So I mean, you know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like it is what it is. You know, you take it for what it's worth. If you love Ant, you got to take, you know, all that comes with it. But Magic, man, when I saw Magic react to it, I was like, God damn, bro. Like he's always like super positive. Both teams play hard. I want everybody to win. That shit, you know, he take basketball serious. Like if it's one thing he going, you know, get up in arms about, it's going to be that shit, bro. Like when he starts talking about hoop, he going to take it there every time. I'm glad he said what he said, just to kind of, that's at the cookout when, you know, the young boy trying to, you know, get a little too ahead of themselves, and the unk got to show him a little bit, they got to push him a little bit harder and be like, hey, nah, I don't care your aunt right there. I'll do something. You know what I'm saying? Like shit we could end this shit real quick. So I mean, I wasn't mad at it, you know.
I think for me, man, I look at it like this. I think that generation on generation talk is some of the lowest forms of common, communication you can have.
Yeah.
You know, in the words of Tony Soprano, remember when is the lowest form of communication. I kind of feel like I feel like if you're a great player, whether you're in this era or that era, great players can play with any other era. We always talk about, they weren't shooting threes. Yeah, because the game was different. The rules were different. Michael Jordan, them niggas played in the era when niggas was drinking beer after the game. Like if Michael Jordan, imagine Blair Bird was able to shoot 8 to 10 threes a game. Like, do you know how much more disrespectful he would be? Like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, I don't care how high niggas jump. They're not blocking that hook shot. It's just not gonna happen. Isaiah Thomas, as much as I don't like the nigga, he could be a really good. He be great. Chris Paul can dominate. What do you think Isaiah Thomas can do? You know what I'm saying? Like Magic Johnson was 6'9", bro. He's 6'9". We always, talk about how tall LeBron is. He was the same thing, bro. And so when you do stuff like that, it really kind of shows your, how much you don't know the game. And like you said, Bang, this don't happen in other leagues. We don't ever hear this in the NFL. We don't hear this in Major League Baseball. You know what I'm saying? It's more with just the NBA. And I understand with NBA Twitter and the way people talk is crazy. And I'm going to shoot Ant some bail. He's young. Ant, 23 years old? And he did a nigga, disclaimer out there, I didn't watch. But I understand why Magic reacted the way he did. If somebody kept telling you your air was huff, you feel the same way. In a minute, you see how Wembanyama look? We're going to be looking at who LeBron played with, like that nigga was playing against plumbers. By how freakish this dude. Like, if there's anything I got from the Olympics is, nigga, y'all better win now while y'all can. Like, he even gets a decent, I think they're going to win 40 games this year.
Nigga had that nigga crying, fam. That man was crying and was like, yo.
That was the scariest shit from the whole Olympics to me, because I was like, damn, bro, the next Olympics go round, it ain't gonna be like this.
Hey, man, look, I'll hot take it right now, yo. We ain't gonna win a gold medal for the next 3 Olympics, G. That's just a wrap.
And this, I know that this was scary. They asked him, what was you crying about? He said, I was crying for the league. Like, my nigga. He said, I'm crying because I'm finna beat y'all. Like, that just shows, like, the elevation. Like, if you'd have told me when KD got drafted, I was about to start my first year of college. You'd have told me there'd been somebody, that nigga hype, who can shoot like him with better handles and like
video game shit.
He can't even legally drink. He can block shots. I'd be like, get out of here. Like, it's just evolution of the sport.
These are the NBA 2K kids.
Yeah.
These are the niggas who look. When people say stuff about Paul George, here's why I don't trip. Because Paul George came into the league 6'9", and you went on NBA 2K and was like, I'm going to make me a guard that's 6'9". And this guard is going to be able to dribble. This guard is going to be able to shoot. This guard is going to be able to play in the post. This guard is going to be able to play on the wing. You made a small forward that was 6'9". Guess what these players are? They are all Paul George or taller versions of the NBA 2K characters that y'all created. That's why when folks be like, no, Paul George is one of my favorite players, because you went and created that dude on 2K. And you got all of your VC points, and you got you some gym shoes, you got you some jerseys, you got you some socks, some stand socks of the league. You got all of that stuff. And those same dudes went and was like, all right, I'm gonna go to the court and do that same thing. So all of these big ass niggas that's out here dribbling and shooting stuff, Yeah, they are all Paul George kids. And that's why Paul George is like, yo, hey, man, I'm happy. These are all my kids.
That's crazy that Paul George got a kid, but you are 100%
Yeah.
correct.
Shout out to
We got a lot more. We got a lot more to get into, man. Illy, man, anything you want to talk, plug before we get you up out of here?
Man, just follow a player, man. That's all y'all gotta do. I'm loving the place that rap is headed right now because it's getting back to actual rap, and that's one thing I do exceptionally well. So I will be bestowing my talents amongst the people very soon. So follow me because it's gonna be a lot of rapping, a lot of freestyling, a lot of
that boy talking my language now. Yeah,
a lot of putting people in their place. So
definitely,
for a while.
definitely. Get up with him, man. Follow him at The Boy Illinois on all social media platforms. We definitely gonna have you back when the album Inhale Part 5 drops, man. Always good to talk to you, brother.
Peace and love, y'all.
We gonna
salute.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Now we're gonna bring in Courtney. I know Courtney been waiting in the wing. We're gonna bring in right now.
Damn, I should have worn a Michigan shirt, man. Shit.
There we go.
You know, one of the homies yesterday. Shout out to my dog. Shout out to my brothers always. One of the homies was like, I told him, I said, the real niggas play on, Saturday, us. And he was like, yeah, man, y'all cheating. I said, if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying, man. That's number one. There you go. Number two, everybody claim to love college football so much. You want to take it back. You want to restore the feeling. That's what we doing. You think everybody did it the right way? I would have been mad if we did it the right way. I'll take it a step further. Fuck it.
No. Why you all jokes aside, if you see his documentary, like, one, that shit wasn't easy. Two, everybody's stealing sign. So
yeah, they still had to go out there and take them hits and complete passes and all that. I mean, yeah, there we go. That's what I like to hear.
What happened to integrity?
What's that?
Back in my day, we used to just give people L caps and call it a day, pay off mortgages.
Little brown bag under the table. Yeah.
It used to be a lot more streamlined. Now we got people putting on fucking fake team uniform.
But look, though,
I don't know
back
that
in my day, we dropped bags off at offices.
Hey,
facts.
The thing about the old days, they're the old days.
They the old days. And in the words of the legendary Slim Charles, man. But we've got Courtney here. Courtney Collarbone. You can follow her at 1-800-Collarbone on all social media platforms. Courtney, how's it going?
It's Friday. It's Labor Day weekend, which I just realized it was Labor Day weekend. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I didn't even I thought that was next weekend. So
yeah, I almost forgot too.
Right over the head. But I would be remiss if I didn't take the opportunity to just, acknowledge the passing of an absolute hockey legend. For those who don't know, I would regard him as an NHL star. Johnny Gaudreau, formerly of the Calgary Flames, and most recently of the Columbus Blue Jackets, was killed alongside his brother Matthew Gaudreau, who was in the AHL, in a terrible, terrible drunk driving accident. They were on bicycles the day before their sister's birthday. They were out on a bike ride together, and a drunk driver unfortunately killed both of them. Just a reminder, take an Uber, man. It's not worth it. Now countless lives are ruined on what should have been a really happy occasion for their family. So just Uber, take a Lyft. If you need a promo code, I'll send it to you. It's not that deep.
Definitely definitely prayers up to them, prayers up to their family and friends. I'm going to echo that as well. Drunk driving has never been cool, but especially now when you've got so many different ways to get your ass home, get other people home who had nothing to do with you deciding to go on a bender and, ruin somebody else's life because you don't have control. Do that, man. So definitely prayers out to those two men and to their families and their friends, man. Let's get into some football. We are officially 9 days away. Well, actually 6 days away from the start of the actual season. 9 days away from our first Red Zone Sunday. And, of course, we're in the midst of college football week one. We're going to get into that in just a little bit. But we have been doing the Inside the NFL Division series all summer, and we are finally down to the final division, and that is the AFC West. AFC West is home to the two-time defending Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs. They're trying to go for the first three-peat in NFL history. They've got the guy, Patrick Mahomes, back. Travis Kelce's back. They've got some new wide receivers. Defense is still there, and Andy Reid back for another year as they try to do something spectacular. They will open up the season at home as they get the rings, going up against the reigning MVP and the team that they beat in the AFC Championship game last year, Lamar Jackson, Roquan Smith, and the Baltimore Ravens. Man, I think to me is when we talk about storylines for the season, it's as simple as this. This is the biggest storyline of the year. Can they three-peat? I think that, the last team had a chance to do this with the 2005 Patriots. They made it to the AFC divisional round where they lost to the Denver Broncos. This to me is the best equipped team on paper to three-peat, in my opinion, since the 90s Cowboys. Well, we know that NFC Championship game in 1994. Was it pass interference on Deion Sanders? Was it not pass interference? What was it that eventually helped the San Francisco 49ers win, and they eventually went to beat the who they beat in the Super Bowl? Was the San Diego Chargers in the Super Bowl to win. Steve Young got the monkey off his back. I think this is the team that's most equipped since that 90s Cowboys team to three-peat. I do think they need a little scandal. They need a little scandal. I'm in my conspiracy bag again, as we saw earlier in the local hour. They need a scandal. I'm tired of hearing about Taylor Swift. I want to hear about Travis Kelce maybe cheating on Taylor Swift like one of the cheerleaders or something. Like, we need that kind of 30 for 30 drama.
I mean,
30 for 30 drama.
The nigga daddy is a drunk. You don't need a scandal.
I was just about to say, his pops is pop. Hey, I got you, bro.
Yeah, he really doesn't need another thing to motivate him. We don't need
a Scotch IV. Like, what are we talking about here?
Pat Mahomes Senior is the first nigga to say, "Wait, don't hold my beer. I'm gonna still do this. I got my beer. You ain't got
wrong.
I got it.
Y'all terrible."
Yeah, man, you right. He is. And speaking of somebody who needs to take an Uber, Pat. See, I know that this nigga. I think it was my guy Van. Shout out my man Van tweeted that he knows that Patrick Mahomes is being the drive-through at the games when you can hear Brittany, who is liking MAGA posts. By the way, and it's shocker that a white woman from Texas who's rich is a Donald Trump supporter. Big shock there. Whoa, that came out of nowhere. Jackson Mahomes always getting in trouble. He want to be. Doesn't even want to be related to him. And of course, his daddy always getting jealous. Maybe that's something, but I need a little bit more drama. You know what I'm saying? Like, what was it in 93 when the Bulls going for a three-peat? Jordan going to Atlantic City. I need something more than just you have an alcoholic dad. You know what I'm saying? I need a little bit more for that. I feel like on paper they have a chance. I think the AFC is really, really stacked, but that's the main thing I'm looking to. Courtney, what's your main storyline or anything you think about this 2024 Kansas City Chiefs?
I'm mostly just curious to see how this Rashee Rice situation is going to be handled. If it is, we all know the NFL doesn't really do much about anything, really. I guess unless it involves a masseuse or putting a gun to your girlfriend's head. But, even then, it's, So, I mean, with the iteration of the team that they have now, I honestly, who's going to beat them? I'm not even trying to be funny. Like, if you don't win this year, that's crazy. Because, if you look at in compared to last season, it's the same team basically that they're rolling out, minus L'Jarius Sneed, which I think that's the only thing in my opinion that might be a big loss that impacts them. But other than that, they're going to easily win the division. Easily.
Yeah, that is a very soft ass division, as we're going to see game by game here. Mariano, what you think about this year's iteration of the Kansas City Chiefs?
Yeah, I mean, I think unless they catch Pat gambling on games and shit, man, they're probably going to three-peat. You know what I'm saying? Honestly, because last year, you got to think about it. Everybody across the board was like, what's up with the Chiefs? Like, this is kind of a down year. To have somebody say this is a down year and you go out there and go back to back, it's like, what are we doing, bro? This is past some shit you could even dream of. Like, it's Pat Mahomes. This is the fucking Pat Mahomes Invitational. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the era that we in right now. Like, unless some major shit happen, it's anything small, anything that's just a little blip on the radar. Like, I don't see anybody stopping them. And the thing about it is, I would like to see Lamar win it. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's somebody who, outside of obviously my own team, which is another story.
We'll get to that later. I got it on the docket, but don't you worry about it.
That's Lamar Jackson and that Ravens team. That's a team that I sit back. I don't put them on my parlays because we got history. And I don't trust them, but I wish I could, but it's Pat Mahomes, bro. Like they're gonna three-peat. Like, what are we doing?
Dante, man, what you think about Pat? Is there any chance they don't? Like, how high are you making the chances they don't repeat?
I'm going 80% they don't three-peat just because that shit don't happen. So like it's easy for me to pick the field, even though I understand how great Pat is, and like that's the crazy part. I agree with everything that's been said so far. Like on paper, this team has everything it needs to get right back to the doorstep of this three-peat. But I just think with the way the NFL has been and the way the competitive balance has really been beefed up, and you've seen a lot of teams, come and take their swings. And like, yes, Pat has continued to prove why he is, the best in the game right now and on his way to being arguably the greatest to do it. But I think this is one of those years where I could see them, falling in, the division round or maybe the AFC championship, but not all the way getting there. Now, in terms of the division, I think that's a foregone conclusion. I think Chargers are still a question mark. The Broncos are a question mark. The Raiders, and obviously we're gonna get more in depth about that in a second. But I think in terms of the division, there's nothing to worry about. But as far as a three-peat, I think this is one of those moments where we need to just, again, not saying we haven't, but get people to take a step back and just realize how monumental that would be to sit here and three-peat. But also on the other side, what's up?
You're saying that because there's so much parity that it's very likely that it's not going to happen. Who in the AFC do you think will give them the challenge, like you said, in the divisional round? Who do you think will topple that?
Whoa. Wow, that's
a good question.
Put you on the spot. I have to know
because it's on the brackets and breakdowns, so it would depend.
Well, we can circle back. We'll circle back.
Yeah, we'll circle back.
Next week we're doing the season breakdown. I
got my answer. I got a team in mind as well.
Oh,
when she said around, I was like, okay.
You don't have to explain. Just tell me.
Oh, that's next week. Next week
for the preview episode. Next week. We're just giving them a taste of the dope this week. Bang, what you think about?
Look, I already put my money behind this one, so
you got money on them three-peat.
No. I got my money on somebody else.
Oh, somebody else. Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like what you said, Dante. Not only does it not happen, it hasn't ever happened in the NFL. It hasn't happened in the NBA in 22 years. Kobe and Shaq Lakers was the last time. The Warriors had a really good chance if they didn't actually die that season. Like, I believe if even one of the two it stays healthy between KD and Clay, they probably beat the Raptors. But hasn't happened in 22 years. That hasn't happened in like 25 years in Major League Baseball. And I don't think it's ever happened in hockey. Courtney, you can correct me if I'm wrong.
I mean, it's happened. Three pieces happened in hockey.
Yeah. Oh, there has been? Okay, yeah.
But the thing about that though, Scott, and I understand all of that. You know what else hasn't happened? Pat Mahomes, bro. He's happening like right now. True. So like it's just something that, like, again, until it happens, I'm just not betting against them. You know what I'm saying? Like whoever they play, whenever they play them, whatever's going on, if this team is healthy. Now, obviously, you taking the injuries and dudes getting suspended for certain shit, and you might miss a game for this or that and the third, whatever. But if that team is at full strength, I'm just not betting against them. You know what I'm saying? Like I would go to bed happy if I bet my money on them, and if they lost, I'm going down with them. Fuck it, like it is what it is. But I just can't bet against them.
And that's why, like just as well as we could say, that for the Patrick Mahomes thing, we've never seen a team in the Super Bowl era three-peat.
Yeah.
So I think either way it go, you could bet either way, have a conversation about either one of it and not be wrong, because we haven't seen the three-peat in the Super Bowl era, and we haven't seen a quarterback like Patrick Mahomes. I'm going with the field mainly because now when you've played so many games, and really when you look at it, in the last 3-4 years, the amount of games that the Kansas City Chiefs has played, sooner or later, sooner rather than later, you're going to see attrition. And that's why I am more likely to bet against them three-peating, because the attrition has to come. It just has to come. Let me just say this. If the attrition don't come this year, you don't need to raid Andy Reid's coaching staff. You need to go look at the strength and conditioning coaches and ask them, like, what the hell are y'all doing that y'all done played this many games in 5 years and y'all are consistently winning? that's not just coaching, and that's just not players. That's strength and conditioning. That's like y'all got some type of elixir in the office that y'all just drink, and then all of a sudden y'all come out like them little Asian dudes on Big Trouble Little China. Like y'all just drink the joint, then y'all be like, all right, time to go whoop some ass. Like that's what I don't understand about the Kansas City Chiefs. How are y'all beating the war of attrition? Father Time is undefeated, and this is part of Father Time. Y'all been hitting helmets for 5 straight years, playing at least 14 games a year. And you mean to tell me every year y'all got it? Not saying that they own performance-enhancing drugs. I'm just saying y'all got to have some type of magic joint that as soon as y'all drink it, let's go whoop somebody else. And Big Trouble in Little China is one of my favorite movies of all time. So
I'll say this, and then we'll move on to the Raiders. Courtney, I'm gonna say what you said. You said if they don't beat them this year, no, they had their chance last year. If you couldn't, this is why I'm on the side of them repeating. If you couldn't beat them niggas last year, with as bad as that offense was, and they were letting niggas off the hook, like the why I say the Raiders
their defense when they had a lead, just took their foot right off the gas. Like if you couldn't do it last year.
Exactly. Like that, Kadarius Toney is the reason that the Lions even had home field advantage through them 2 playoff games. He's not on the roster anymore. Like, and you add different things to it, and the Ravens had no business losing that game. You had that good running game. You went, we can beat y'all niggas throwing. Don't pull that against the Texans. Don't pull that against him. So that's why I'm on the side of anybody can do it. Is this man right here? And then next week I'm gonna tell y'all. Why my favorite player, Mr. Tom Brady, might be in trouble if they do repeat. We're gonna talk about that next week, man. The rest of these teams are terrible, so I know we're not gonna have too much topics on them, but we're gonna go on to the team that finished second in the division last year. That is the Las Vegas Raiders. If anybody watched the Netflix show Receiver, we all know that my boy Devontae Adams hated the niggas who was at quarterback last year, Jimmy G. They finished stronger towards the end of the season after hiring Antonio Pierce as interim, made him full-time during the regular season. During the offseason. They bring in this guy right here, white people's favorite backup quarterback, Mr. Gardner Minshew, who I actually got to say, tried to build the Indianapolis Colts to the playoffs, actually had a good year. They got him back. Aiden McConnell will be on the bench. I don't have too much to say about this. The only thing I'm going to say about this is this. Y'all better be happy that Devontae Adams has that contract and that he probably just bought a new house and nobody's going to actually trade from this particular point in time. That's the only reason I believe that nigga's still here. I think that they can be competitive. Wouldn't shock me if they won 7 or 8 games. Like, I don't think it's going to be – I think they're going to be in the same range that they were last year. But it's just simple as that. We're in the air raid era of the NFL. If you do not have a quarterback, you do not have a chance. And I think as a backup, Gardner Minshew is great. I love Gardner Minshew as backup. He can hold it down for a long period of time. But that's not gonna cut it, especially not the AFC and especially not in that division. I'm not expecting much from this team at all. I do believe that they're paying attention to 2 things. I think the Raiders are paying attention to 2 things. Paying attention to Dak Prescott in that situation, and they're paying attention to how Shedeur Sanders is looking for next year, because Gardner Minshew and Aiden O'Connell ain't gonna cut it. Mariano, what you think about the Raiders and story with them this year?
First and foremost, shout out to Giants legend Antonio Pierce. I was so happy when he got the job. I think he deserved it. I think that team will play for him. They'll play hard. You know what I mean? Like the type of player that he was. If any of that can trickle down and influence any of the players on that team, I think that they can probably be a tough out. You know what I'm saying, for people. I'm not really expecting too much, like you said. I just want to see the type of like their attitude. You know what I'm saying, like how they're approaching these games. Like I'm sure they're not going to lay down for anybody. And like you said, that's a good point. Like with the Dak Prescott shit, you get Dak over there because I know and I'm a Giants fan, so I know people expect me to like shit on Dak. He's not a bad quarterback. I think that if you put him over there with in that system and you start to try to like build something over there, I think that they can do something, good. I'm not saying they Super Bowl bound or nothing like that, but I think that they can be good. So I'm excited to watch it for my own reasons. Like I want to see Antonio Pierce do well. And they do have they got some some decent pieces around the team. So they'll be good. And also I'm one of those people that believe when the Raiders are good, like the NFL is like a little better. You know what I'm saying? Like the years that the Raiders are good, it's just better to watch, the NFL. So I won't say excited to watch them, but I'm hyped for Antonio Pierce for sure. And if the Raiders game is on, I'm probably going to be watching it.
Quick random topic. I forgot that tonight is actually Caleb Clark injuries part 3. Shaq Diesel was in Chicago. He's courtside with one of the Caucasian big 3 that of the Bulls. Buzelis, as he pronounce it.
Oh, Madison!
Rookie of the year.
Yeah,
Shaq is sitting
right
now.
Yeah,
Shaq is sitting next to.
Saying that right now.
Shaq is sitting next to Buzelis courtside at a sold out win trust.
What channel is on?
Give him the trophy.
I think it's on Marquee. I don't know. It might be on. It's not on ESPN because Oklahoma's on ESPN, so it might be on Marquee.
Buzelis the trophy right now.
Yeah, but Bang, what you think about the Raiders? That's all you. That's all you gotta say about them niggas.
What that team gonna be the pitch, man? Hey, Devontae Adams will be a Jet by the trading deadline. That's all
you think
I got.
They gonna trade him?
They ain't gonna have no choice, fam. He's gonna ask for a trade. He gonna be mad. Antonio Pierce gonna be like, man, if that motherfucker don't want to be here, then we'll just go ahead and trade his ass then, fam. That's what's gonna happen, fam. Like
if you don't want to be over here, cuz, we gonna get you out of here, cuz.
Yeah, if you don't want to be it, I'll say this. I think that the worst team in this division will be the Raiders. And when Patrick Mahomes played them, they're dropping at least 50.
Yeah.
At least.
Dante, any thoughts on the Raiders?
Just Raider fans enjoy Luke Getsy, he somehow got another job, and everybody, your boy Cap was quick to say, well, what if he goes out there and he's great? And all the reports out of Vegas has been the offense is terrible. So I don't have much with the Raiders. I'm glad Pierce got the job. It's dope to see him get that opportunity. And we see player coaches a lot. Well, former player coaches in the NBA a lot, and that are younger. We don't see that often with the NFL. I know we had a couple of guys with McVay who he had some experience, but he's not like a real player like Antonio Pierce was. He was an impact player who came in, and now he's getting the opportunity to be a head coach at a young age. So I like that, but Raiders don't have shit.
I see it, Dante, but also why does it feel like our people are only getting job opportunities when we're basically set up for fucking
right.
Leo in New England, fucking Antonio Pierce. Now I'm like, damn, can we get a winning team? Can we get my man something good?
Word.
Yeah, that's dead though.
I'm just saying.
Is that all you had on Raiders, or you had more?
Yeah, no, I mean it's an unfortunate situation. Again, I've been trying to look it up. That's what I raised my hand for earlier because I said, wait, okay, Gardner Minshew's their starter. Aiden McConnell is the second string. Who's their third string quarterback?
I have no idea.
You?
I was just about to say, shit. We could just play rock paper scissors. We might get
5'1". I can't see you.
Hey man, look. If I was them, I would.
Neither can Kyler Murray. He in the league.
Look, if I was them, I would have asked.
Like 6 inches on me.
Look, I would have asked the Bears about Beijing. He know the offense.
Yeah, no, the Raiders they're going to finish last in the division. It's between them and the Chargers, in my opinion. I know we're not getting into predictions, but the Raiders are going to be a truly. I'm sorry. I can't agree with you. That's not an enjoyable experience for me to watch.
we gonna double pack these two teams in one thing. We can move on to the next topic. Denver Broncos finished 8-9. Denver Broncos. I know. We gonna get to you. I'm gonna go to you first. I know you fake high on them niggas. Denver Broncos 8-9, missed the playoffs. This will be the year of Bo Nix as he got the starting job. Not like he had that much of a competition, but he had actually a pretty good preseason. We had to tell him the quarterbacks who stood out during preseason. Obviously Caleb, obviously Jaden Daniels, but Bo Nix was right up in there. As as impressive. He started. Sean Payton, a lot riding on line for these niggas. I'm not expecting much from him, and honestly, I'm not buying Bo Nix. I know he's like 45. I know he's seasoned, but these niggas are not gonna be good. Like I don't know the games yet. I'll probably pick games next week, but
they have a very soft schedule against.
We keep saying soft schedule.
They're playing. They have a lot of soft offenses that they're playing. Obviously, they got to go through the Chiefs, but they got a pretty soft.
I also think Sean Payton is a false prophet. So I got to see it without Drew
What
Brees.
did I tell you though last week? The ceiling is Drew Brees and the floor is Drew Lock.
By the way, shout out to Orlando said in the chat that the game is on Ion, and my cousin texted me too saying the game is on Ion. So if you're looking for Sky versus the premier matchup of the WNBA, is on a channel I've never heard of before. What's going on? And Angel hooping, Taylor Clark hooping. Why isn't this at least on ESPN too? What are we doing?
Shout out to Angel Reese.
I know it's college football. Yeah, big shout out to Angel.
On and off the court.
That tells you everything about how the media feels about women's sports.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey,
Courtney,
I know the other day. Nebraska volleyball. Shit was
Courtney, I know you fake high on the Broncos.
Listen, I'm just looking at what's in front of me, right? I will say I do think that there's a little to be the wide receiver core could be better, right? But I do think that their defense is improved. And beyond that, there's a few guys on their defense that are in contract years, and money is the greatest motivator of all. So it's just something to look at. That's all I'm saying. I'm high on the Broncos. I think they'll finish second in the division.
Okay, Mariano, are you high on the Broncos, or you like me? Like these niggas ain't nothing.
No, I'm not. I'm not really. I do think that I don't think she's like too far off by saying like that, with the soft schedule, they could win some games. It's just that Sean Payton, I don't know, bro. He might coach them out of the games they can win. Like I just feel like he's one, you know what I'm saying? Like he's good for doing shit like that. Bo Nix, 137 years old. I did like what I saw, from him. So I mean, they could be, you know what I'm saying? If the Broncos game is coming on, bro, I'm not going to just run and be like, yo, let me change the channel or whatever. I do want to see what they talking about. I think the defense could be good. So
yes, sir. Let's ride.
I'm not crazy about them, but I'm also not going like dunk on them. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see. We'll see.
Dang, anything on the Broncos?
The Broncos gonna be fake decent. I think they're gonna be fake decent.
My agenda is working.
When I look at the Broncos, if you look at the NFL as a whole, they're gonna be Huff. But they're in the division that's gonna be Huff. And they're gonna be the best out of the Huff teams in the division. Therefore, they're gonna be fake decent. So
that's some good math right there. I like that. Chicago nigga math is going crazy.
Chicago nigga math, fake decent.
I think the Broncos are gonna be ass. That's just me personally. I think Sean Payton is a very unserious person. This is kind of like when LaRussa went away and came back, and you feel like you still got that magic touch and everything.
Yeah, that's what
you're
I like
just
to hear.
a guy, It's just like everything you do is right, and you were sitting there screaming at Russ, trying to belittle the man and degrade him, and now you tell me that you're the guy that's gonna sit here and groom 28-year-old Bo Nix into something that we haven't already fucking seen.
The difference between Russell Wilson and Bo Nix.
Hey man, shouts out to my man Jay Hollins. My man Jay Hollins, who loves the Oregon Ducks, swears that Bo Nix is the most ready rookie to start an NFL game because he
better be ready. He was born in 1993. He better be ready.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Bo is the most ready.
He was born during season 2 of Martin. He better be ready. Like,
I say, nigga, Bo is most ready to turn that cap backwards and hold that fucking iPad. That is what Bo is ready to do.
Also, real quick about Sean Payton, he looked too much like Benzino for somebody to trust him. Like overall, like let's be for real. Let's really get to the real shit.
Like he's such an unserious person, bro. Like,
I can't. I'm not a Sean Payton guy, man.
I'm low on the Broncos.
The agenda is going to agenda all season. That's all I'm saying.
Fake decent.
So you saying that
the best out of all bad team?
You saying there's gonna be some late 3 p.m. game in Kansas City, and Pat might be tweaking. Pat got like 3 picks. Not that they gonna win
against the Raiders.
Not that the Broncos gonna win, but niggas like, Bo Nix driving right now, like, and niggas run to their TV, like it might be one of the type things.
Niggas gonna be like, man, Bo Nix only lost by 20.
Right, right.
That's what I say. Hey, he only lost by 20. Yeah,
And then Pat gonna be like, nigga, you think I'm losing to Bo Nix? No.
Right.
Like, it's gonna be one of them type of situations, man.
Didn't he lose to Aiden O'Connell?
He did.
Damn.
Like,
He definitely did.
bad.
Damn.
On
you
Christmas.
Right.
On Christmas.
Crazy.
Damn.
On Christmas.
You right.
But let's go to this last team, which I feel like is supremely overrated. I know Mariano in here because this boy Jim Harbaugh. By the way, Jim Harbaugh got out of Dodge. You know what I'm saying? It said,
Yes, sir.
Boy said that Sky game is on a channel that was created when they released the converter box. That's hilarious.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Alex said live from UPN. I feel like that juice shit. That's gotta be racist.
These
My
niggas
nigga
is playing
Alex
after Richard Bay.
Nah, real shit though.
They got him playing on WCIU next to Spin Gooley,
Shit on
nigga.
WZUP radio.
Yeah, Martin doing a halftime.
Yeah.
Anyway, but yeah, the Chargers, man.
They play after the Three Stooges, man.
I understand the Chargers got Justin Herbert. I've always been a big Justin Herbert guy, even though he's looking closer where he just might be a regular season quarterback. I actually like Jim Harbaugh. I wanted Jim Harbaugh to be coach of the Bears. I'm not gonna act like I think he's gonna be a good coach. I got a couple questions for y'all niggas. Who's he throwing to? Who's the running back?
TCU legend Quentin Johnson.
Like I said, who's he throwing to? Their best wide receiver is now on my favorite team. Their second best wide receiver who couldn't stay healthy is with in New York. And then Austin Eckler is in Washington.
But the good news is that it doesn't matter because now they have Greg Roman, okay, and they're going to run the ball fucking 7 times.
Right, with nobody to run the ball. Joey Bosa broke his hand, so he's probably going to miss the first month and a half, 2 months. Khalil Mack is the only positive thing I can say about that. I mean, Derwin James, but is Derwin James going to stay healthy? I think these niggas going to be 5-12, 4-13 again. I think they're going to finish last in this division.
I agree.
Yeah. So this is another situation where I'm here for the coach. Obviously, shout out to Jim Harbaugh. You know what I'm saying? He did what he was supposed to do. We ain't going to talk about the, you know what I'm saying, none of the other shit. But here's the thing. Here's the thing about the Chargers. The absolute best thing the Chargers did this year was their social media team. When they had the schedule release, they did the Sims thing and all that. That's the best thing they did. And that's the best thing they're going to do this year. That's really it. Like, Justin Herbert is out there. He's going to be thrown to the cast of Boardwalk Empire. Like, we don't really know what's going on with that. He's cool. And you know what's crazy? It kind of hurts me to say this about them because, like, for years I had a long-standing, like, just like static with them because they had a quarterback over there whose name I will not mention. And as soon as he left, I said, you know what? We can talk peace treaty now. You know what I'm saying? But it's just that, you know, and again, I'm not going shit on them because coaches over there, I want to see them do good. I do. I just don't think they will. That's all.
Alex says that Mac and Bosa getting trade deadline. We seeing Mac back on the
Sound about
front.
right. Sound about
Mac
right.
back in the late front and want to, you know, get on that edge on the other side of Montez, bring him back home.
Sounds about right.
Bring the boy home. Is that gonna be the hashtag for Bears fans around October? I forgot. Trade deadline is on election day.
Return of the Mac.
That's gonna be an interesting day on social media for sure. Courtney, well, I'm just gonna put it in general to everybody because I don't think there's much we gotta say about this. Is everybody on one accord? These niggas gonna be garbage, or is anybody?
They're gonna be the second toughest team in the Huff ass division. But I think Jim Harbaugh is a good enough coach, and that staff that he put together is a good enough staff that they can win a couple of games on their own with scheming and developing players. But I'll say this. Justin Herbert is the most overrated quarterback in the NFL.
Oh my God.
And the only way he can prove that he's not is that he makes those players better. That is not going to happen.
I want to disagree, but I can't.
Unfair. I think it's unfair considering who his coach was.
No.
Yeah, but his coach didn't make him throw them 4 interceptions he threw.
That's right.
Everybody throws fucking
he knows.
No, he wasn't in my bad. It wasn't him who threw 4 interceptions in the playoff game. That was trick off Trail. My bad.
Herbert.
Yeah, that was bad. That was Trevor Lawrence.
Herbert is still living off the fact that they tried to kill Tyrod Taylor.
Yeah,
he's still living off that.
Unfortunately.
I disagree with everybody. I think the Chargers will probably be second in this division.
By the way, season ticket holder Dante Miles talking. He's trying to get them tickets off.
Yes, founding member. If I order some shit, it say founding member on the side. Don't play. But no, real shit. I'm dead serious. Because I believe in Justin Herbert. Justin Herbert's not a bad quarterback. Their coach was an idiot. Like, let's just call it a spade a spade. He did some of the dumbest shit in the most important moments for them. And a lot of the games they lost were one-score games where, hey, take the points here, we get a stop here, or we take Justin and let him drive down the field and get more points. But he would just do dumb shit. And a lot of the games that they blew really were on coaching. So I think with a coaching staff that's coming in there, I know they've lost some talent. But I think that they're going to end up – I think I'll probably pick the Chargers to be second in this division. So I don't think they're going to be garbage.
All right. That concludes our Inside Division series. We wrapped up all 8 divisions. Next week on the season preview show, we're going to pick who are going to win these divisions, who are going to be our wild card teams. This next topic is going to be very short, probably the shortest topic that we've had in the history of this program. We're going to talk about somebody who there shouldn't have been this much talk about in the beginning. I've never seen this much hype over the 4th option on a championship caliber team. Brandon Aiyuk, after weeks and weeks and weeks holding out, holding in, my fault. Finally got paid last night. The same deal, by the way, that was originally offered to him. That just shows you how much this nigga did not want to go to Cleveland. As we heard, that was a holdup. 4-year extension worth $120 million, with $76 million of it in guarantees, so he'd be back on that roster. All I got to say is, this I wanted to be taken out of this chat a long time ago. I have nothing else to say about this. I think that it's all or nothing for the Niners this year. Like, eventually, nigga, you got to get over that hump and actually win the thing. I have nothing else to say about Brandon Aiyuk.
Yeah, shout out to Joakim Noah.
I'm sorry.
Joakim Noah was right again. You know, what's so good
You
about
think
Cleveland?
Cleveland's cool?
Yeah, I mean, what's so good about Cleveland?
What's so good about Cleveland?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. But with Aiyuk, I think that's one of those things where it's like you got to pay him. You know what I'm saying? Like you want to keep this team together. You think y'all had enough to win, last year. You think y'all on the cusp of winning it, again this year. I mean, you got to pay him. You know what I'm saying? You showing the other player. He's probably a great guy for the team, great locker room guy. So I mean, you got to pay him. He got paid. Cool. Like, it's not cool.
Yeah, if I may, the only thing that I really have to say, I'm going to echo Mina Kimes' sentiments where this shit could have been an email. But the only thing that really irks me about the whole situation was that Adam Schefter tweet where he was like, oh, that was the original deal. And like trying to basically, like, the tweet basically was sponsored by the 49ers front office.
Oh, 100%. John Lynch scheduled that tweet.
Like, such an unnecessary tweet that you needed to put out. Oh, he took the original deal that was on the table. Like, oh, their front office stayed strong. I'm like, fuck you, Adam Schefter.
And didn't Aiyuk's agent or something
carrying water for fucking front offices? That's
he does that a lot though.
Yeah, no, he definitely does.
He gets the scoop.
That's how you get the scoops. He worked for them.
Raccoon face ass nigga.
I mean, at the end of the day, though, what other deal what it was gonna be? Like, I mean, I feel y'all what y'all saying, but
you think somebody
tell me what deal he was gonna get. He was gonna get around the same shit that DJ Moore ass was gonna get. That's what he got.
I don't have a problem with the deal. No problem.
I'm just saying that. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like that had to be the original deal. I don't see a deal that you're giving Brandon Aiyuk that's going to be near Justin Jefferson, Tyreek Hill, or any of the other top 5 wide receivers.
Right.
It was gonna be like what DJ Moore got. Brandon Aiyuk ass was like, nah, I want that shit. The 49ers was like, not only are you not getting that shit, also, these are the teams that want you. You want to go there? Nigga, you want to go to New England?
Yeah.
Right.
That nigga
Take the money. Take the money.
Take the
this
bread,
is the
bro.
place. This is the only place you can go right now.
And salute to him for trying. Salute to him for trying. I mean, you're supposed to go for it and ask for whatever. But when reality set in and you sit back and say, "Damn, I'm Brandon Aiyuk," like, you know what I mean? Then take the bread, my nigga. You know what I'm saying? That's what it is.
Would I rather get 76 million guaranteed in the Bay Area or Cleveland?
Like somebody on Brandon Ayuk's team is gonna have to show me the deal that he would have got that they offered him first and that they fought for.
Right.
They have to show me the deal they have to show me the deal that was original, and they was like, no, we're gonna fight for this. Like, get the fuck up out of here, fam. Both people are posturing. Yes. But you can't tell me Brandon Ayuk was gonna get the same. You can't tell me that Justin Jefferson got that deal and Brandon Ayuk then was like, oh.
Yeah, I agree on that, man. We go. We bringing Mariano back in. All right. But yeah, so let's go to the next time, man. I don't want to spend too much time on fucking Brandon Ayuk, nigga. Let's go to a wide receiver who me and Dante having a back-to-back right now. But the receiver who I feel like was right in his holdout, Mr. CeeDee Lamb.
Yeah.
CeeDee Lamb finally got his bag this week, a historic bag right here. He got 4-year extension worth $136 million with $100 million guaranteed and a wide receiver record $38 million signing bonus. CeeDee is now the second highest paid non-QB in National Football League history, man. This is kind of like a two-part question for the panel. First of all, salute to CeeDee. He deserved this money. He is at worst a top 3 wide receiver in this game. You know, my top 2 still hasn't changed. It's Jet is the number 1, and I still got my boy Devontae at number 2, but I would put CeeDee right under there, or you can even interchange him and Devontae. But big money. But I think to me the bigger story here isn't about CeeDee. This is about what this means for Dak Prescott, who, you know, pretty much from all reports doesn't look like they're expecting a deal to happen before the season starts. So I think his comments yesterday were very, very telling when he was talking about basically Jerry Jones taking a victory lap over the CeeDee contract, saying, well, nobody knows it better than me. And, you know, saying the things about Dak might have to do it with the lesser roster. And he said, I don't take nothing to come out of his mouth seriously. To me, it sounds like, yo, I don't care what this nigga do. I'm getting my high 60 million a year from either y'all niggas or somebody else. I look at it, I'm in a great position. And I think the Cowboys need to be very, very careful here. Jerry Jones, Stephen Jones, the entire Jones family. Like Mariano just said, Dak ain't great, but Dak ain't bad. There's going to be so many quarterback thirsty teams who are going to be ready to give Dak a blank check. And the Cowboys ain't had good history with quarterbacks since Troy Aikman got his 80th concussion and retired. Like there's something there that they've just had a hard time replacing. So follow them, just pay them the money and get out the way. But to me, if I'm Dak and I'm seeing they just pay CeeDee and I'm the quarterback and I don't get my money by opening weekend, I'm about it. That's just pretty much how I would look at it, man. I'm gonna go to Dante first. Dante, what you think about the CeeDee's contract and what this potentially can mean for Dak?
The contract is cool. I think it's well deserved. He's been very consistent for the Cowboys, and is their best offensive threat. You know, and that's something that somebody they're gonna need in order for Dak to be Dak. In terms of Dak Prescott, I think at this point it's just a matter of, you know, when. I don't think you can let him walk. I think now you got to do some crunching, some numbers in terms of what you're gonna do with him and Micah, because you definitely don't want to lose Micah Parsons. But I think you're at a situation now where you've allowed the market to continue to grow without locking Dak in again. And now if he comes out here and gives you another season where he puts up elite numbers, then it's like, all right, now you're at his mercy, because it's like, all right, bro, y'all not gonna just. We saw what Trey Lance was doing, throwing about 40 times a game in the fucking preseason. Like, we know you're not gonna just decide to say, all right, you're not gonna just sit here and say, okay, we're gonna go in a different direction. So I think you're at a point now where you know you have to pay Dak. So I think if I'm in Dallas, obviously if it's Jerry, bro, you need to get this done as soon as possible. Just don't let it linger over your team right now with, you know, how good the Cowboys have been, and just like we said, consistently not being able to get to that next step and get to, you know, that NFC championship, get to that Super Bowl. So I think when you have the talent that you have already compiled, bro, just pay the people you need to pay. Like, if you got to move some other people, if you got to convert some money in the roster bonuses do that. But I think in terms of what this means for Dak, if I'm the Cowboys, it means that, we still in there crunching numbers and we trying to get these figures right so we just lock Dak up and really start rolling.
Mariano, we know you are a NFC East lifer. We know you're probably enjoying this drama that the Cowboys are going to. What do you think about the situation Dak is in, and if CD's contract means anything with his negotiations?
You know what's crazy is that, like, maturing and shit like that is not as fun as people make it out to be, because like I'm torn.
It's really not.
Because on one side, yeah, burn up, Dallas. Fuck it. But also it's like, man, Dak ain't that bad, bro. And I think Cowboys fans and the Cowboys organization is in for a very, very rude awakening if Dak Prescott feels disrespected and leaves. Because obviously he's not perfect. They haven't got over the hump, but it's not just him. It's not just him. CeeDee Lamb, let me get to that. Electric. He deserved every penny of that contract. That he's must-see TV. Like, I have to admit that. But the whole Dak shit is like you sitting back watching people get paid right in your face, like they're playing in your face. You got to get up out of there. Show them at least. Like, let's see what it looks like when Dak isn't there, because like who y'all gonna go to? What's your man they got from Trey Lance? Is Trey Lance the answer?
No, he's
not sure.
He threw 5 picks.
Yeah, I
in
mean,
a season game.
Not so sure about that. You know what I'm saying? So it's like if I'm Dak Prescott, I'm sitting in the building like, oh, okay, well, y'all think all y'all need is just weapons and y'all can put anybody over there. So, okay, cool. Let me remove myself from the situation because he's going to get paid. He's going to get paid, bro. No matter where he's at, if he stays in Dallas, he goes somewhere else, he's going to get paid. I would love nothing more than to see him leave, because I want to see what Cowboys fans going to say then, because they got a lot to say about Dak right now. And again, I'm sitting back. This is a guy who has to watch Daniel Jones. Scott, bleep that out for me, Scott. I don't want that.
We're going to get to that right after we finish this.
I don't want that type of profanity on your platform. Bleep that out for me, my boy. You know what I'm saying? I have to watch him. Y'all watching Dak Prescott, and like y'all are spoiled for nothing though. Like y'all haven't got nothing to show for this, like being spoiled and shit and being entitled. Nothing since like Big and Pac was looking for studio time. Nothing. And y'all shitting on Dak Prescott? How dare you? You deserve for him to leave. I hope he leave.
Courtney, you are in Dallas. You got the pulse of Cowboy fans out there. Do you think that this CD contract changes anything for Dak?
So it's funny, and I actually have a question for y'all kind of related to that. So do you think that, so obviously CD signed his deal before Dak. Justin Jefferson got paid. You know, the quarterback situation in Minnesota is fluid, to say the least. At least it is right now. Do y'all think that CD put possibly that he put any thought into who was going to be throwing him the football?
Hell no.
Or do you think he's just like,
he thought about who was throwing him that bag?
He thought he Mariano just said he on who throwing the did that how much? Yeah, fuck it. Give it here.
Exactly.
Okay, yeah. So I can't help feeling like Jerry Jones understands that, right? I don't think, again, the grass is always greener on the other side, right? And I'm, have always kind of been one of Dak's biggest ops on here. But no, for real, it's after that last Trey Lance preseason game, I think Cowboys fans and even Jerry Jones needs to realize that, like, it can get worse. It can get worse. I feel I think they're going to resign that man. They're going to have no choice but to pay him. He's in a great position. Good for him. Just had a baby too. Great for the family. That man's about to get paid.
He's about to get super paid.
$60 million plus. I can't. Jordan, how much is Jordan Love making? Like $55 million a year?
Way too much.
Yeah,
getting at least 65.
That's about to get fucking paid.
Yeah, go ahead, man.
I mean, this is the Jerry Jones, the dumbest move in NFL history. He could have paid that man a long time ago, but he was just like, "Let me wait and let me see. Let me wait and see." He could have did himself shot himself bail drafting a quarterback in this draft. Like just late, he could have been a person. He didn't. He got Trey Lance in the trade, and Trey Lance been huffed since he got there. Anytime Jerry Jones opens his mouth, Dak Prescott is like, "That's why my ass is here next year." Last Jerry Jones is basically Dak to do more. Dak like, all right, whatever. Because when I leave out of here, leave out healthy, I'm going to get that bag. And the or the Giants.
Man, you going in and out real quick. We got.
Hey, you hear me?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you going in and out. Yeah, your voice
Can
going
you
in and out.
Can you hear me?
We hear you now, but it was going in and out.
So let me just say this again. If I'm Dak Prescott, I'm just listening to Jerry Jones talk dumbass shit and waiting to collect my bag at the end of the year. I'm going to get at least $5 million. I'm probably going to get $50 million at least by some dumbass that's going to break the bank for me. Fuck. And for dumbass Dallas Cowboy fans that's sitting there thinking like, George Sanders is out there. He's gonna get picked.
Yeah, bang. We gotta send you to the bullpen, bro. Your audio still messing back up. We'll win you right back in when we get that.
God damn it, I was
settled, man. Dante, do you have anything in this so we can move on to laughing about Mariano's Giants before we do constantly? I just wanted to put that in there.
No. Y'all definitely keep it going because Bang was cooking though. For what I can make out,
he was cooking.
What I can make out, but
no, he was cooking.
Fuck, man.
He was cooking. But I think what he was saying though, like I get like the gist of what he was saying. You know what I'm saying? Like if you Dak, you kind of enjoying this shit because you like I'm gonna get paid regardless, bro. Whether y'all gonna get my talents and my services or not, it's up to y'all. But like I'm gonna get paid regardless. So if y'all think shit's sweet, go out there and test it. Let's see what's up.
Definitely. We're just gonna go quick on this. I don't want to spend too much time on this thing. I know you don't want to talk about these niggas, but bro, I told you when this man got drafted.
Oh man, you put this motherfucker on the screen, man.
Do not trust quarterbacks from a basketball school.
You put both of these motherfuckers on the screen. Wow, Scott.
I have learned.
So what does that say about your thoughts about Drake May?
I don't I don't like Drake May either. Like what are we talking about? I don't like that nigga either.
Scott ain't fucking with no Drakes right now.
I'm not. We not. We are non-Drake.
None.
Ram, May, whatever. We are non-Drake zone over here. Yeah. I think the only bright spot y'all got is this young man right here.
Woo, let's talk about it. There we go, Scott. All right, Scott. See, all right, I knew.
I helped you out. I helped you out there, but
thank you, brother.
Just tell me what you're feeling this year because coming off that rough season, I'm pretty sure y'all gonna have another rough season. But you see what Shador and Travis did last night. Are you already thinking about the draft? What's your? I'm gonna give you the floor for this.
I've been thinking about the draft since. Yeah, it's been a minute. I've been thinking about. I'm only thinking about the draft, and I got a message for fellow Giants fans. Here's the thing: if I'm Brian Daboll and Joe Shane, and I'm sitting there and we having these conversations, I'm pulling the young dogs in. Yo, listen, give us a year. Y'all got to deal with this motherfucker for a year. We're gonna get right though. Trust me. Get y'all a year, get acclimated, learn the NFL, go buy some condoms and all that. Get adjusted to the life and all that. Right? Understand this. You got to deal with homie for a year. I'm not expecting much out of Daniel Jones. Pardon me for swearing again. I'm not expecting much out of him. Malik Neighbors is Malik. I think Malik Neighbors is a very special talent. I think that it's great that he's wearing number 1. That's the illest number. Like to me, like him rocking number 1. We got a true number 1 receiver for the first time in a long time. I'm just more excited about the young players, right? Like I'm more excited about the young running backs that we got. You know what I'm saying? We got homie up out of here. Let me just see what we look like. I just want to see what we look like. How are we going? Are we going to be competitive? I'm not expecting us to win a whole lot of games. You know what I'm saying? But I just want to see what we look like, man. I'm Scott. You know how this shit go, man. Y'all Chicago, y'all know how this shit go.
I'm sorry.
Whether the team is good or bad. Whether the team is good or bad, bro. Oh, you know. Hey, you know.
No.
Whether the team is good or bad, I'm gonna be tuning in. I'm gonna say whatever I gotta say about them.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, you boys is hey, you know what?
Hey, I got 3 number 1 wide receivers.
No.
I don't know about. My
I'll
old
tell you.
project days.
I like this. I do, because this is how you're supposed to act. When you go from like you drive in the bucket and you don't know if it's gonna make it, and you get the big boy truck, you're supposed to be like, I don't know how y'all niggas do that shit. I like this. So I let me say this. I respect y'all for that. Please keep that energy alive. I love it.
I'm like, this shit's even got leathers. That's
you feel me? Yeah, exactly. And that's how you're supposed to be. Exactly. That's how you're supposed to be. So I say all that to say I'm not expecting too much. You know what I'm saying? So it's not gonna be like, you're not gonna be able to tweet me on Sundays or Mondays or Thursdays and be like, the Giants, because I'm gonna tweet you back like, yeah, nigga, the Giants. Like I told you this. It was like, it is what it is. So I'm just looking at the draft already, bro. But I'm a Giants fan. Like I'm
looking
gonna
at
watch
Carson Beck.
Carson Beck.
Y'all gonna be poor for Shador?
Be poor for Shador. Yeah, exactly.
We gotta see, man. We gotta see.
We gotta come up with a Travis Hunter one.
Shout out to Malik Neighbors though, man. I think he's gonna be must see TV. He is.
I do think it was funny that he said draft night he was gonna have a bet with him and Jaden Daniels who's gonna have the better stats. And he realized who was throwing to him, and he automatically said, "You know what? I'm off that bet."
That nigga ain't want to get suspended for the season because he like you did what with who? You bet. Yeah, okay. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, it is what it is, man.
Just wanted to bring it up, but just talk about it. But we're gonna wrap this episode.
You had to.
We're gonna wrap this episode up. We're gonna take the next 15 minutes and talk about some college football. I'm gonna give Courtney the floor for majority before we get into Colorado and what they did last night. Let's talk about the new 12-team playoff format and conference realignment. This is my second year of being fully immersed in college football, so I'm still college football for dummies. So, Courtney, just break down to me what exactly this means.
Yes, it's the most wonderful time of the year. It is week 1 of the college football season, and with that, hopefully people are a little less upset than they were last year. The playoff field has expanded now from 4 teams to 12. And with that playoff, the 5 highest ranked conference champs will make up the first 5 teams. The first 4 of those 5 will have first round buys. And then that 5th ranked team, whichever team is ranked 5th at the end of that, will be seated where it was ranked. So either it will be a 5 seed or 12th if its final ranking is outside of the top 12. So for whatever reason, that 5th conference champion is seated outside of the top 12. Once all said and done, they will be ranked number 12. The first round, so this is actually my favorite part of this conference realignment thing there and everything that's happening with it, is that now college football and the atmosphere of college football is going to extend into December, which could be cool in certain places and maybe a little daunting when you think about places like Ohio, where it could be really chilly. But yeah, the first rounds, 8 teams, begins in December 20th. And they'll be hosting home games. Teams 5 through 8 will be hosting home games. No reseeding between rounds. So the quarterfinals and semifinals will be played at the traditional New Year's Eve 6 venues. So the Fiesta Bowl, Orange Bowl, etc. And then the Natty is in Atlanta, which, listen, I don't want to be biased, but my boys have played there before. It ain't that scary. I'm just saying. I like Alabama.
She said, y'all boys sweet out there.
But no, I'm really, really excited. I think the conference realignment, there was a lot of changes. RIP to the Pac-12. My Arizona State Sun Devils have joined the Big 12. There's just a lot of changes that went down. I know we're going to get into some of the other topics next week, but it's a good time to get into college football. So we're happy to have you on board, Scott.
Yes, I made this. I know I've been a year in. I was making college football jokes yesterday, and they were hitting. I was like, yeah, nigga, I'm 1 foot in. And when we're talking about the alignment, let's talk about like some Heisman favorites. We'll close out with Prime. I want to get everybody's opinion on that. Courtney, who are some of your early preseason Heisman favorites?
Yeah, so I mean, of course, my bias wants to say Jalen Milroe, just because I really think that he's matured tremendously. Quinn Ewers of Texas is a popular name. I think he's like top 3 finisher, I think is what they're predicting. Of course, Dylan Gabriel, who has also been in college for fucking 30 years. This is his 3rd school now. He started at UCF, transferred to Oklahoma for 2 years, and now he is the starting quarterback for Oregon. He replaced Bo Nix. He is the favorite alongside Carson Beck and Georgia and Quinn Ewers. I'm still kind of high on Jalen Milroe. I'm not going to lie to you. My sleeper candidate, and I don't know what the odds are because I haven't actually seen any odds on him. Preston Stone, SMU. I did not go to SMU. I'm not even from Dallas. So I don't have some inherent SMU bias, but I'll say this. The man threw 3,197 yards last season, 28 touchdowns and 6 interceptions. They got a few transfers wide receiver wise from Miami. I like Preston Stone. That's my sleeper. That's my sleeper. That's my dark horse for the Heisman this year.
Mariano, you got any early candidates?
You know what's crazy? Her Alabama guy, Jalen Milroe. I feel like this might be his year, just because of how last season ended. I mean, we know how last season ended, but how last season ended. I do think coming into this season, this is a year that Alabama needs to reestablish. Wait, y'all know that we still Alabama, right? You know what I'm saying? It just feels like to me when college football comes around, and maybe this is because Alabama has been Alabama for a very long time. When they start getting college football weather, I just feel like Alabama's going to be there. So if I was going to put money on it, I would probably put my bread on him. It just seems like this is a Alabama year, and the leader of an Alabama team, he's going to have a big year regardless. But I'm going to say him. That'd be my pick.
Got to let a naysayer know.
You got to. You got to.
Gotta let the naysayer know. By the way, man, we actually gonna go into Colorado right now. I just want to say this about Mark Jones, man. I like Mark Jones, but nigga, stop. One touchdown. We always talk about crazy. We talk doing a just like Boss Man D'Lo. Stop it, bro. You listen to rap music. Fine, I'm with you, bro.
We get it,
we get it, bro. But he be forcing it sometimes. G, somebody said he was calling on UPN on Twitter last night. That shit had me down. But one of the biggest stories in college football is obviously Mr. Primetime, Deion Sanders, and his Colorado Buffaloes. Man, like I said, I'm a fake Buffalo fan because Deion's my favorite player growing up, and you can't make me hate Prime. I don't care what y'all say. Prime can call all y'all devil worshippers, and I'm gonna be right behind the nigga yep, all y'all going to hell. That's how much I ride with Prime. I am very biased. I will not sit up here and act like I'm not biased. Having said all that, a lot of pressure on the program this year. Of course, we know they started real hot last season, but they cooled off towards the end. This was actually last night was their first game they won since October last year, and they ended up beating North Dakota State 31-26. Shedeur Sanders had a massive game, man. Shedeur is looking like he's going to be a top 10 pick in this year's draft. Somebody, maybe even Mariano's Giants, will be very, very happy to take him. He went 26 for 34. He had 445 yards passing, 4 touchdowns, and one very fluky interception, which is why I always say that we should start treating interceptions like how they treat earned runs and unearned runs, because that one wasn't on Shedeur right there. And you had Jimmy Horn came in. He had 7 receptions, 198 yards, receiving 1 touchdown. But the story of the night was this nigga here. I feel is the best pure player in college football.
Face.
Yeah, my boy Travis Hunter. Travis Hunter also has 7 receptions, 132 yards, receiving 3 touchdowns, and a very crazy touchdown that I have no idea how he cut. And this is after Shedeur yelled at him just to catch the ball. He didn't care if it was pass interference before. There's a lot of pressure on this team. We talk about pre-Heisman favorites. If I felt Colorado was going to win more games, he would be at the top of the list for me as far as Heisman favorites. But I feel there's a lot of pressure because of not just people just love to see Prime lose, because when you somebody who is as loud as Prime has been since the day he got drafted, he had the primetime chain the day he got drafted. That's just who he's been throughout his career and how he's been through his playing career. We've seen some of the conversation about him kicking the media out, which I originally thought I didn't like it. Then I found out what the media person said about him, and I'm like, well, Nick, maybe next time you should watch him out. I do think there's a little bit of, I know a lot of journalists feel like they should be able to ask controversial questions. And I think there's a difference between asking controversial questions or asking the tough questions compared to just constantly nagging at somebody. If you call me a fake prophet, my nigga, you have nothing to do. Not only would I ban you from the room, I'm banning you from even being in the facility. Like, there's just certain stuff that I am just not rocking with. But I do feel like this team got to get it done. If they don't win 8-9 ball games, there's going to be a problem. As much as I love Prime, I think what we're seeing, especially with the defense last night, is that you just can't keep going through the transfer portal like it's NBA free agency. You know what I'm saying? You need to build the program up.
Now, though.
It is, but he be real heavy with it. It is how college football is.
Yeah, when you're up there fucking insulting your players after a bad game, saying, this offensive line is trash. Listen, I'm not saying that it's not a good offensive line. It's a terrible fucking defense. Sans Travis Hunter, the single bright spot. But like, brother, do you think you're going to get people invested in you and invested in your team? People have seen the track record and the body of work. Why would I want my child or my brother or whomever to go play for you to make you look good? Because if you're a talented player, you're a 4-star, 5-star, respectfully, you're not going to Colorado. You're not going to Colorado.
Talk your shit, Courtney.
Am I wrong?
No,
you might be going for them.
You are not wrong at all.
Attention, but you're not going to Colorado to win. We got to keep in mind, Colorado literally they won 2 games the season before last?
One. I think it was one.
I was going to say they won 1 or 2 games. They won 3 last season? 4. I'm so sorry.
Yeah,
they won 4 games. They started 3-0, and then they proceeded to lose 7 of the last 8. Terrible.
Getting blown out too. These weren't just close. They were getting dogged.
Well, and I will say in their defense, because so I don't sound like a Prime hater, pun intended. 8 of their losses were 1 possession games.
Ooh, okay, didn't know that.
Yep, and they beat my Sun Devils by a field goal, but I digress.
Yeah, and I think it might be people too. That's like if your kid is gonna go to Colorado, if you already like Prime, you love Prime, you might not even want your kid to go there so that you don't start to dislike Prime, because you know what I mean. Like you said, you see how he is, and it's like, I fuck with you, bro, and I love what you're doing from afar, but I don't want to be so attached to that. So like, if my kid is the next best thing, I don't want him to come over there to a team that's already not perfect, and then you start to blame him and start to be like, yo, we're going to do this and we're going to do that. And it's everybody's fault except, you know what I'm saying? Like
except for your children.
Yeah. Like it's just a little, but
I
shout out to
understand
him.
He has to toe a very delicate line of being a coach and a leader of all the men in the locker room versus
and a father.
Obviously just a father.
For sure.
Right.
For
But
sure.
what's the Colorado team going to look like when Shedeur is gone?
That's why.
With Deion like Magic, I'm not gonna be there.
That's why I believe Prime was better off going to like a South Florida.
I'm really curious to see what his next grift is going to be, because
Florida State.
That would be something. You think Mike Norvell is going to lose?
Count your days. Count your days after losing to Georgia Tech.
boy, yeah.
Count your goddamn days.
How much pressure is on them, Bang, for this?
I don't think it's that much, though. I'm sorry.
No, I believe it is a lot of pressure, and I believe that it's a lot of pressure because Deion Sanders put the pressure on them.
Yeah.
You go to a team like Colorado, you know that this team has been terrible. You have to build that program up. That's something that you're supposed to buy your time on.
Yeah.
But when you talk, you speed up the process because now people want to hate you. If Prime would have went there, and I ain't saying just be quiet. I'm not telling the black man to be quiet. What I'm saying is just understand where you at. It's logistics. Nobody's coming to Colorado.
Yeah.
This is not 1993, my G.
Yeah.
He could have did that at South Florida. He could have did that at Florida Atlantic. He could have did that in the area where he owns.
Correct.
But he didn't.
He prime recruiting hotbeds.
Right.
Yeah.
But he decided
so much talent.
He decided to go to a program that not only was Huff, but talent is not going to come there.
Yeah.
Even if you're there. If I'm choosing between
Fuck.
The same talent pool that's attending Colorado is also torn between USC and Oregon and Utah.
Right.
And even Utah has a better chance of being successful than Colorado.
That's my thing. This is the Colorado Primes. This ain't the Colorado Buffaloes. This is the Colorado Primes. So when he opens up his mouth, that's publicity. Yes. But it puts the target on your back, especially when you're not even as good as some of the worst teams in the conference that you're now in. Like now that you beat North Dakota State or whatever, now you got to go through a murderer's row. That's not even really a murderer's row for better teams, but it is for you because you're barely middle of the road.
Yeah.
Like them going up against Nebraska is not going to be an easy game for them. They're going to struggle.
Yeah.
So when you talk and you're Deion Sanders, people, especially black people, are going to automatically think, oh man, Prime now, oh man, you saw what happened at Jackson State. That was people that was really thinking that Colorado was going to be a monster like Alabama.
Who the fuck? Hold on.
Yeah.
Niggas who don't watch college football.
No, that's why I just told Scott I wanted to say
college football. Because no one who watches ball like we watch ball would have ever thought that.
That is why I told Scott I did have something to say on this.
I saw you open the bag. I was like, I didn't know if you done. Well,
go ahead.
This nigga Deion Sanders has once again sold y'all a bag of bullshit. And like, you need to just call a spade a spade.
Yeah,
he is there for his son, for Travis Hunter, for Shiloh. This shit is not a long-term plan. Like, stop,
for sure,
bro.
For sure.
Like, I love what he's doing. I love what he's building. Like, I'm not even gonna say what he's building in terms of a team. Just what he's been able to do with packaging his son, and Travis. Because the reality is, it's like I say this all the time as somebody who live in SEC country. Well, nobody worry about no fucking Colorado. Like, nobody's going to be worried about them for the next decade. Like, when you look at the pipeline that these schools have created, like, there's not a chance in hell he's gonna crack that. Like, that's just me being honest about it.
I mean,
like, he's a hell of a salesman, and
for sure.
like Scott said, for 3 weeks we all gonna fuck with Colorado every season.
and then after that it's gonna be shaky. See, look, this is the thing. The way that Deion came in talking,
it's gonna be shaky next week.
I think that all of us root for him. And we respect like the way he came in talking, but he came in talking like he was getting the baton passed from an Alabama, from an SC, from a team like that. Now, if he came in talking like that and saying, yo, we're going to continue this tradition, I think all of this would be warranted. Like, yeah, absolutely, because the pipeline is there. But if you want the sideline to continue to look like this, you see that?
Yeah.
You see Gilly on the sideline? You want the sideline to continue to look like that when your players make plays? You're going to have to really make this shit something, special. And in college football, especially with that culture and the way it's been, it's tough in Colorado, bro. Like, you Deion and all that, but nobody's bigger than the program. That's just what it is.
Yeah. And one thing, too, and I'll wrap it up with this. Deion win if because like I said, I think this is going to be an exciting offense to watch. I think it's going to be exciting to watch Shedeur and Travis put up punts. But I think Shedeur even said it yesterday at halftime. Like, I can't not score. I got to score on every drive. So I think there'll be an emotional roller coaster to watch every week. But I just hope we don't see, and it's probably going to happen. This is just how he is. I don't want to hear Deion talking about, oh, y'all just want to see me fail. Now, if you niggas is losing again, it's going to come. And Deion hasn't done a lot of losing in his life. Like, so I know something that's new to him. When he went to Jackson State, they dominated right away, back-to-back SWAC champion, undefeated seasons. This is a little bit of a new thing now, but I do feel if they can win the 8 or 9 games, and I think that helps a lot. But I think there's
8 or 9 what?
I said if. I'm not saying they will. I got them winning.
Nigga, you got to put that. You got to put the if by 5.
Yeah.
Ooh,
yeah.
So y'all don't
I'm about to say
one more?
8 or 9. How many seasons, nigga?
No, I didn't say 8 or 9. I didn't say they was winning 8 or 9. I said if they won. I'm not picking them to win no 8 or 9 games.
Scott, they're on the bottom of the Big. They're in the Big 12 now, and they're on the bottom of that. They got Nebraska next week. That's going to be a difficult
that's going to
game.
be. Yeah, they're going to get
Colorado State is always a difficult game because it's an in-state game. Baylor is going to be a difficult game. UCF is going to be a difficult game. They got to go against Kansas State, who has a Heisman Trophy candidate in themselves, and Arizona. They got Arizona on the road, my G. Cincinnati be a difficult
So
game.
you don't see 4 more wins.
Bruh, they might get to. They might
if they're
get
lucky,
5.
6.
That's what I
Six
said.
is
I said y'all respond to me
nigga,
like
you
I said they
said
were gonna
8
win
and
8 or
9.
9.
They're not
I
gonna.
didn't
They're
say
not
they
gonna
You
win.
said if
bowl
8 or
game.
9. What
I
I said
said
was
Colorado's
if.
not going bowling.
yeah, you don't put if
No,
by
they're
that
not.
shit. You put if by the 6. 8 or 9, that nigga is coach of the year, fam.
Correct.
That nigga's Big 12 coach of the year if he wins 8 or 9 games, my nigga.
Yeah, you're right. By the way, I did not say 8 or 9.
Welcome to the
No,
college
you said
football
if.
school.
Nobody
No, you
put
said
me
that.
up. I didn't say 8 or 9.
No, you
I'm
said
at 5.
you said if. What I said
Yeah,
was, nigga,
I
if
was saying super best case scenario.
nigga, that's not even the best connect. That's not even
6 is the best case scenario.
Bro,
Like 6 and a maybe, my nigga. Like
Bro.
8 or 9. What?
That's
That's crazy.
That's what we telling you. That 6 is the best case scenario, my nigga.
Correct.
If he wins 8 or 9, my nigga, Jesus is really on Deion Sanders'
I'm
side.
about to say, right, bro. I'm about to say, nigga, you didn't see them fullbacks they got playing defensive line. Like they not gonna stop nobody. Like where these 8 wins coming from?
I think I found this week's clip.
And don't get me wrong. I love Deion Sanders, but my nigga, you should not have set foot in Colorado. You should have went to South Florida where you know the terrain and everybody loves you. When you set foot in Colorado, you put yourself behind the 8 ball completely. And your son not only would have still been nice, he would have been nice against the competition at South Florida. Your ass could have won 8 or 9 games easily. Nah, your ass went to Colorado for what? For Michael Westbrook and Rashawn Salam, my nigga? Fuck out of here.
I think that's the perfect way to wrap this topic up and wrap this episode up, man. This was the final edition of the summer off season. I'm not gonna hold you. Episodes next week will be the season premiere. We're gonna do the full NFL season preview episode. We'll actually do our division picks, playoff picks, MVP, all that good stuff. And then on Monday, September 9th, we'll be back to our regular 2-episode a week format, man. Definitely shout out to Illy for joining us. Mariano, always good to have you back on here, bro. Let them know where they can find you at.
Yeah, man. At Mariano on Twitter, 2 N's, 2 O's. Like I'm telling your aunt again. You know what I'm saying? When she asked me for money and shit like that, we back doing that again. You know what I'm saying? New season of All for the Love will be recorded soon. Tomorrow, actually, August 31st. I'm doing an episode of the new season and all that. So we back in the mix, man. You know, I'm always happy to be here, always.
Definitely, man. Y'all know where to follow me on all social media platforms at Barbchair Scott. Y'all can follow Dante at OctoberZone on Twitter. Y'all can follow JR Bang at JR Bang on all social media platforms. You can follow Courtney at 1-800-CALLER-BRO on all social media platforms as well. You can subscribe to our Patreon, as you can see right here, patreon.com/Barbers Chair Network. The link is in the description box, or you can scan this code right here. It'll take you right to it. We've got 4 different tiers. You got the Summer Sessions tier, 79th and Hallis tier. I'm not gonna hold you to those 3 tiers are each $5. And of course, you got this the Barbers Chair Network All Access tier, where if you subscribe, you get 25% off your first order on a newly opened BC Net shop, which opened today. Shout out to everybody who put in their orders. You can do that if you want your 25% off. You can subscribe to the $10 format, man. And of course, we're going to London. Shout out to everybody who supported the GoFundMe. We already copped the hotels, copped the the flights. My passport came in, nigga. I'm finally. It's Pappy and Damien have laughed at me for years saying I didn't have a passport. By the way, Pappy just got his last year. By the way, that nigga got a lot of nerve. This nigga didn't leave 95th Street for a long time. But anyway, if y'all want to help us, in any other way, keep donating. If anything else, you can donate to the GoFundMe right there. You can scan right there. The link is also in the description box. And visit the bcnet.com, your one-stop shop for everything Barbershop Network. Follow our partners, HEB Media TV on Twitter, and at HEB Media on Instagram. Y'all enjoy a great weekend of watching college football. We will be back next week, and next week we'll actually be recapping an NFL game. We'll be recapping ring night between the Chiefs and the Baltimore Ravens, man. So y'all enjoy y'all weekend. We'll holler at y'all next week.